As I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping, a tear drops my eye. My body temperature falls. I'm shaking and they breaking, trying to save the dough. Pumping on my chest and I'm screaming. I stop breathing, damn, I see demons. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? I can't die, my boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up, her voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying.
She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I would have saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you're aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention, they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show. That show's called a pilot, and they show that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of the one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't, become nothing. She started one of the ones that became nothing.
Back on my feet, and everything that nigga said came to reality. Living like a baller, low, having money and blowing hella chronic smoke. I bought my mama a Benz and bought my boo-boo a Jag, and now I'm rolling in a 9-Triz AL dog brand.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is a man I met just in time. It's Captain Philip Ressisher. Good evening, I love you.
Good evening, I love you too. I am going to say that in almost 400 episodes, I have never seen such great teamwork on the intro.
You're probably right.
There was accent. There was facial expressions to each other. It was as though those people were just having a conversation amongst themselves, like they were like standing on the back rear end of a car with the hood up or the trunk up.
Well, they're married, first of all. And they live together. And
do
so
married couples enjoy each other?
Are you asking for yourself?
I'm just asking. I'm asking my what the ways of the world
are. See,
are.
I need to trick a lady into marrying me, so I have that kind of relationship that our guests have today, but I no dice so far.
And we have seen this relationship from day one to now, and flourish from
inception,
giddiness to Facebook stalking and internet stalking to first dates to consummating marriages to
boredom.
You didn't see that. You didn't see the concept.
Well, you
don't know that.
You could
I paint a vivid verbal picture.
And he actually, he's been working with pastels. He painted us a literal picture, and a picture of some pants being ripped at the seams there.
You know that dress? We paid for it by making him a deal. We watched the video.
It was bought by Distill.
All we saw was Dustin's butt the whole time, but it seemed like he was doing good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Should we continue our streak of introducing together?
Oh, we have been doing that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I have the.
You have a special.
She's gonna hate this.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. I've got the right song to introduce.
Oh, there's a song to introduce.
Who do you want to introduce?
I'll do him. I'll do him.
I'll do him too. Let's just both do him.
Is it both do him? Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Let's introduce him. Ready?
Alrighty, everybody.
This guest,
we're gonna welcome back one of my favorite guests.
Always, I feel like
he's known
to come on, but we're always so happy she's here. And I think she's happy to come on.
The Voice.
Says yes.
She
has hated my guts for a long time.
Tons of different podcasts.
Secretly loved.
Always love to have him on the show.
Dustin's wife.
Let's welcome to the show.
It's Brianna.
Dustin.
Hey,
welcome. Yeah, welcome.
So nice of you to introduce us.
I do hate Jason's guts.
No, you don't. That's part of our discussion today.
I'll have to go back and listen because I can only concentrate on what I'm saying because I feel like if I let my brain listen to what he's
didn't do that the whole time you did the show
because it would have been dumb.
Yeah.
As a listener, it's annoying.
I have to listen to every episode twice just to.
Oh no, you just rewind it. You don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Wait, remember that one time I gave you and my sister the wrong pilot, and then I watched a separate pilot, but it was the same. It was like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And then so we set the clock for 10 minutes, and you guys discussed one thing for 10 minutes, and I at the same time discussed something completely separate to myself.
Yes, I
You
remember
that?
Yeah.
That's good pod.
You know, and it was an accident, a mistake you made, and I didn't point it out like you point out every mistake that I make.
Right.
But you know, I mean, some of us have a different way of dealing with
Not me.
our coworkers.
I victim shame. And you are a victim of yourself.
Oh yeah, it's completely myself. It's not the man holding me down. It's my own internal.
Do
guts.
you have a heavy heart today, Blake?
I have a heavy heart, but I'm very excited.
Why is that?
I'm just in a good mood today.
Is it your shirt?
He's wearing tie-dye.
I'll tell you about this tie-dye
for
shirt.
Why do you have a heavy heart? You have bad cholesterol?
Well, which do you want me to answer first, the tie-dye or the
Well, you're
the
in a
heavy
good
heart?
mood, and
I didn't say I had a heavy heart. He said I had heavy
I
heart.
did say that. But
I had open heart surgery. Mine's lighter than usual.
when you're a baby, right? Tell us about your tie-dye shirt, because I've never seen you in that before.
Okay, first of all, I want to say that I look totally fucking ridiculous and stupid in this shirt.
I don't think so.
I do.
I like
completely.
it.
There's a couple of guys that about 4 or 5 months ago at work, they started wearing homemade tie-dye T-shirts on Thursdays.
Oh, so now this is replacing the track racing, slot car racing. You're
No,
now going to join a tie-dye T-shirt club.
Well, and it has grown tremendously in the past month and a half to where some guy came to work with like 40 tie-dye T-shirts and just handed them out to everybody.
Oh, dang.
So now everybody wears them. Well, I fought it for a long time. I said, I think tie-dye looks stupid on me, and I think it's ridiculous, and I'm not a hippie. And here I am today wearing it, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of in a good mood. Is it the shirt? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, you said you feel ridiculous in it.
I feel ridiculous in it.
So this ties a lot together for me. What I know about you, kind of privately off mic, that some kind of humiliation makes you feel good.
That checks.
That checks, right? Brianna, help us out here.
It's okay, Brianna. You can say whatever
No
you want.
comment.
No.
I like the tie-dye.
Do you?
How nice she is to
thank
you.
you.
I don't know what that's
I
like.
got a tie-dye shirt. We could be tie-dye. We could be shirt buddies.
Okay, on
Shirt
Thursday.
brothers.
Where yours on
Shirt
Thursday?
brothers.
Shirt Brothers. There'll be a new wrestling tag team. The Shirt Brothers. The tie-dye Shirt Brothers. I don't have a... Do you have a heavy heart?
We're winding down the show.
Sure.
By all accounts, tonight is the last night that we're recording regular episodes of the program.
The end of days.
It truly is. But we purposefully have these two people all season long. We've cherry picked the guests 2 at a time
For a dime.
Absolutely, and there's no exception tonight. These are the 2 people we wanted here, and I really think we're going to get to the end of the season and get everybody we wanted to. I didn't think it was going to happen.
That's awesome.
It's
Nobody
awesome.
gave me a dime.
How would you like a high noon Sun Sips hard seltzer black cherry? How's that?
Yeah, I think the dime would have...
No answer. Yeah, no answer. Okay, that's fine. That's why my heart's heavy, is because we're winding down the show, and I'm going to get emotional like a fucking woman.
I think it hasn't hit me yet completely, but I'm just excited. I watched a couple pilots the other day, and I got excited, and then I knew who we were having a guest this evening.
Yeah.
Again, excited, and so I am living in the moment. That's when you wear tie dye. That's what you live in the moment.
Wow. So much I could learn from Blake.
It only took how many seasons to get there?
Yeah, there's 40 seasons of the show.
It only took 30 seconds.
But let's you and let's stop talking about ourselves and
Okay.
start talking about our guests. We hinted. This is not the order I wrote the things down I wanted to talk about, but it came up during the intro, and so much so that Brianna caught it. And I want to bring this up. Early on, when I met Brianna, she instantly hated me. Is that fair?
No, not instantly.
But pretty quickly.
It started and then it grew.
Wait,
It grew. It grew.
Like the
The
Grinch's heart.
hatred. The hatred.
But you love me now.
And yeah.
as she drinks the alcoholic beverage that you bought her. Yeah, you're a great guy.
It's like the
It's
cat.
not like a Tim's
Bribery.
ex-girlfriend kind of thing.
Oh yes, you need to hear this, probably Blake. Tim's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah, we talked about it on. Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, we did talk about it. Okay. Yeah, that was nice. I'm not a misogynist. Am I a misogynist, Brianna?
I don't think so now, no.
Okay. At one time I was, though.
You're a massage therapist.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I deep tissue.
It's easy to get the two
It
things
is.
confused.
It is very much.
They're very.
so.
They're almost lateral.
A misogynist means that you hate women, right?
I don't know.
I think Brianna disliked me because I liked women too much, is what it was.
I don't know, because misogyny is not just hating women.
Well, please define misogyny for us.
Can you spell it for my notes on my
Yeah.
show notes?
Yeah.
No. M-I-S... Wait. O-G-Y-N-Y?
Can't do it.
I don't know.
Will you define
It
it?
exists as an idea, not as a word.
It's
to
like
me.
pornography, right?
Yeah.
You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah.
I know how to spell that.
You know how to spell pornography?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's another gateway into something else I want to talk about. It's you
What?
like me now. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something else I want to talk about as it relates to pornography is your son and your stepson.
Yeah. They're the same.
I don't like this.
Well, I'm not. It's young boys, including myself when I was his age. Finding a picture of a naked woman was the greatest thing I could ever think of when I was his age. Has there been trouble lately with the boy? And if so, can we talk about it or not?
I don't. Lately, it's just he's just got that shitty teenage attitude.
He's just an asshole.
He was doing fun
we
pranks.
Had we
for
had
a while, right?
where we would find that he was like looking things up on Pornhub. Yeah.
Okay, did you find out specifically what he was looking for?
Bobby socks.
He listens to the show.
That's awesome.
We can't stop now. Man.
Right.
We're influencing the next generation. No, it's like I think it's like when young kids first be like, oh, I can see naked women.
Yeah, you just type in boobs.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, they type in stuff like boobies or butts or naked butts, bare butts.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I type in. Holy shit, that's not what I type
We
in.
didn't when we were doing it. We didn't have anything to type on.
Yeah.
It was It was
yeah, you put it on your speak and spell. It just goes boobies.
8727.
Or you type in like
Calculator.
boobless on the calculator. You turn around and jack off to a fucking digital screen. Remember that?
But if you kept your thumb over the solar thing, it would go away.
That's exactly right. It needed the sun's energy. But he was getting in trouble for like doing like just kind of stupid kid stuff at school, right?
These nuts on
Yeah.
the school sign.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's.
And then the Axe body spray.
Yeah, that was at home.
He's trying to lose a finger.
Trying to stab a can. Well, not try. Did stab a can of Axe body spray with
Yeah.
And the
a
smell
knife.
permeated throughout the
He did it outside.
neighborhood.
You could smell it in the basement. It was the damnedest thing. I'm like,
Everyone
hey.
smelled like a frat boy for a week.
I was like, why does it smell like cologne? Oh no! And then I hear and like the sound, and I look out the window. I'm like, idiots.
Were there any issues with bed bugs in your house or anything? Was he?
There
trying to-
aren't now.
You think he was trying to do a gas bomb in the form of an Axe body spray?
He was
can?
doing it in the front yard.
Oh, he was doing it in the yard.
He at least took it outside.
Yeah.
For all the neighborhood to see his.
He does
you
have an
know.
obsession with deodorant and body spray.
That's not a bad
so
thing.
He
That's not a bad
always
thing.
has. As long as he's not using the cologne to mask not bathing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
And but he's got like a collection of them. You mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily 15.
He could be a
different
bathroom
bottles.
attendant. Like,
Yeah.
do you want Dracar Noir? Or
You
you
can go into
want-
his bedroom and get a couple of mints to
Yeah.
freshen up.
Does he have Black Suede by Avon? Because that is my favorite, and I will give you a
No,
bottle.
but I'm sure he'd be interested.
Avon Wild Country. That was my
Is
dad's.
it aerosol though? We don't do aerosol
No, it's
anymore.
it's in a glass. It's in a glass jar.
We put that that's on the no list.
It's kind of like when you go to the airport. You're like, no aerosol cans in this house,
exactly.
please.
So the first time my daughter drank booze, she told me about it like the day after or 2 days after we're having dinner or lunch or something, and she told me about it. But I think she was 16. I really do think that was the first time. Your boy is 14.
Now.
He's 14
Just
now.
turned
Yes.
14.
Is he into drugs or booze at all? Because my daughter, I tell
Smoking
her,
cigarettes.
I think that's totally out for kids. I think kids do not want cigarettes.
I think
they
the
want
Truth
vapes only.
campaign got rid of cigarettes.
They don't
Now
want to drive and they don't want to
vapes.
smoke.
Yeah.
We're on to vapes now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see a lot of videos of people like unclogging pipes at schools, and it's just they're filled with vapes. Kids are throwing vapes down
Seriously?
the drain. Yes.
Down
Wow.
their drains?
At schools and shit, yeah.
Flushing them down
And
the
we
toilet.
have more to be worried about.
Well, I think the vapes and maybe pills, but I think it's mainly vapes and booze.
kids that are in high school. Yeah, this is a perfect example why you should go into a trade. It sounds like we're going to need plumbers for a long time.
Absolutely. You'll always need trades. Do you guys, have you had
Death row with the son of a plumber.
any problems with Jackson in that or not?
We've just had very brief brushes with it, but it was
Yeah,
like
there's
situations where I feel like he was exposed to something and he felt both parent and peer pressure, but then immediately felt guilty and told us about it.
Which is a best case scenario.
Do you guys have a stance on
He's
it?
got Jiminy Cricket. He kind of listens to him,
Yeah.
and he hasn't turned into a complete jackass.
Jiminy
yet,
Cricket
so,
was a bedbug, Blake.
Yeah, that's brings it all around.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a hard stance on like weed or booze for the kid?
You've been to my house. You know I smoke.
Well, I mean, as
I
it
can't
relates-
have a hard stance if I'm like, hey.
I take it he knows that you.
Oh yeah,
smoke
yeah.
weed?
Like it's same thing. We don't hide that we drink in front of him, and today's society, we're trying to be like, hey, it's legal. Just be responsible.
What's a weird transitional generation though, right?
Yeah.
Because like we grew up and it was always illegal, and then 5-10 years ago, wasn't recreational but it was medicinal, and now you can just have weed.
Yep.
So it's a weird, like in my head, it's still like this thing. It's like, you shouldn't fuck with it because it was like I don't know if I'll ever be able to get past that just because that's how I was growing up.
Yeah.
But the younger generations, it's going to be just
Nancy
like,
Reagan did a number on you.
Oh, I fucking
jeez.
hate that Skeletor looking bitch.
Her hair was so high.
Ooh, I hate women. You know who I don't hate though, Blake?
Who?
I don't know. What do you? I can't remember what they call it. She got a nickname. It's Madonna. What's her nickname?
Material Girl?
That
Madge.
is what I was thinking of. The
Yeah,
British kind
Madge.
of nickname for her. And why I bring this up is because I don't know if you know this or not. I don't think you listen to Radio Rewind. But Dustin and
It's
Brianna
a show
and I,
Jason and I do with Kevin every week.
the three of us,
past
It's the real long one.
year and a half.
it's
yeah.
the Joe Rogan show, yeah. But the three of us are together here. We are in a Madonna text chain. Did you know that, Blake?
That's only about Madonna?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Did it just develop because of her health issues, or
How did that come up? Did we
No,
talk about it
it's
like
been
on a
going
show or
on
something?
way before.
Maybe it came up on a
that.
show and just transitioned from there?
I don't think it came up on a show. It just randomly.
Yeah, I
have to look back
truly
into
don't
history.
remember the genesis.
It really was in relation to like all of the plastic surgery.
Okay.
So it was before the major health issues.
Okay.
It was when she was doing those weird TikToks.
Oh, man, terrifying.
And it was just like, hey, who's this lizard woman? And what happened to Madonna?
she used to be so pretty?
Yeah.
Is something about growing old gracefully? Like, who's the hottest?
Women can't do it, obviously.
Well, they choose not to, and I wish they would because there's a lot of good-looking ladies out there. that-
Asian women do not age gracefully at all.
Who-
I
Asian
have,
women don't?
I
Okay.
have.
Who did I see?
Do Asian men?
I would say that Asian men look old from the start.
So they grow into their looks like Steve Martin and his hair.
Exactly. Yeah. But
Okay.
Asian women are beautiful, beautiful women, and then one morning they just wake up and they are the just ugliest thing you ever seen.
My daughter's half Asian. I told her, well,
Well,
I know. I said when you hit 68, you're gonna look like a turd that died.
Well, only half. She'll only half look bad.
The other half will look exactly like me, a white guy, a doughy fucking white guy.
But yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. Seriously, I know that we have found.
Thanks for being flexible. We were on vacation when we were like trying to get dates worked out. We were literally standing in line for the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle ride that was shut down, and we were in line for an hour, and then we didn't get to ride it, but we got fast passes to come back. But that's what we were doing when we were working
sussing
out
it out.
dates. Yeah, we were standing in Hogwarts.
Have you heard about their trip to Universal Studios?
No,
Mike?
I haven't.
He's talked a
Is
little
it on
bit
the
about
Madonna text chain? Is that where they talked
It's
about
almost
it?
exclusively on the Madonna text chain. I heard a little bit of Dustin's side of it. What are your
Yeah,
favorite?
let's get her thoughts.
What are some of your favorite memories and rides from the trip?
Oddly enough, I think the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, you came around on that one because you
Well, no,
weren't
I just
really
said
a
that I
fan.
didn't want to stand in line for an hour because
Yeah.
we had already done it twice.
Yeah. It was cool. Like, they had this whole, like, Tonight Show museum before you go on the ride. And Jackson and Drew and even you got a little bit of a Tonight Show history lesson, whether you wanted one or not, from me. And then we just watched clips of Jimmy Fallon being funny with celebrities. And then we go on this
Being funny? You say being funny?
And, they were laughing.
Interesting. Okay. No, that's interesting. Yeah.
He thinks he's funny. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
And then, I was like, I like that guy over there that's only represented by 1 year. That was my guy.
Not even a year. It's like 7 months.
Yeah.
I wanted to go on the Jack Parr ride. Did they have that?
It's been decommissioned.
It has been decommissioned?
Yeah.
God, they take away everything I love.
Yeah.
Did Drew-
Jaws and Jack Parr are like, they're hanging out in the back lot.
Did Drew tell you that I saw her probably before you guys went on vacation? Yeah.
Yes, at the visitation.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what's your connection. Like, how were
Drew's
you
grandmother, or great grandmother.
Drew's great grandmother,
Okay.
and Blake was there.
This is on her
I
mom's
didn't
side.
even go.
That's on her mom's side, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So you knew Rose.
I did not know her. I
Okay.
think I met her once, but Sherry, her daughter,
Okay.
is who is with Chad.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so
Aunt Sherry's dating Chad. Oh boy.
this is a second go around.
Oh, is
They-
he one of the ex-husbands?
Well, they were never married.
Okay.
But they dated like in his teens or 20s or something?
Mid-20s.
Okay.
And then yeah,
Interesting.
Then they both realized we can't do any better than each other.
I think that's kind of what happened. I think that's what I think.
so
that's
Drew
what-
might end up related to Chad.
Oh, they'll never get married.
Okay.
But I saw her and I said hi. But then it was at a visitation,
Yeah.
and I knew that she was like with a family member, and I just didn't want to like sit down and start.
No, she did mention
Goofing.
it, and I meant to message you and be like, dude, why the hell were you there?
Right.
And then we hit the road, and I totally forgot.
Well, and I said something to Sherry. I said, I know. I said, that's true. She goes, I know. I've told you 7 times. I've told you 7 times how we're related to Dustin. And I said, oh, okay. So,
if I ran into Drew anywhere, my default would be she has no idea who I am.
and I also thought that until she waved. She did wave.
Yeah.
So
she knows who you guys are. She's like, I saw Blake, and I was like, which one? Because I didn't think she knew Szymanski.
The good Blake or the bad Blake?
Yeah. And she goes, the one.
Which one am I?
Whose house we swam at. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, she remembers coming over.
Oh, that
here.
one.
Yeah. He doesn't have the pool anymore, so we don't go over.
Heck no. And you know what? Before you guys leave, we have to go look at the improvements.
Oh, yeah?
They're getting better every day. I know. I'll tell you one thing I've learned. Being sober, I got a lot more time to get shit done.
That's
what
good.
I've learned. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Welcome. The Tonight Show ride, are you like in a faux desk flying around New York City? Is that what it is?
You're in the audience in the studio, but then you're supposed to be racing Jimmy Fallon throughout New York City.
Gotcha.
But then you go to space.
But it
outer
is
space?
one of the best.
It's like like
Like
you're watching a
simulated.
screen, but you're moving around.
Sure.
And it's 3D. The Roots are there. And
Higgins.
Higgins is there. Hashtag Panda. We saw the real hashtag Panda.
What is it? What is that? Do you know what that is, Blake?
I have no idea what
Panda?
hashtag panda is.
It's a panda.
I didn't know before the ride.
He was like giving high fives and stuff.
Is it part of the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
A panda?
Yeah.
I don't know what it
It
is.
like, Conan had masturbating bear, and Fallon has hashtag Panda.
It's kind of a watered down. That's a step down, if you ask me.
I'll take masturbation over hashtags any day.
Conan O'Brien has a podcast, which I don't know if there's ever been a guy, maybe Mark Maron, who's been on a late night show of note that was just there to promote his podcast. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah.
But Conan is about to have a show, I believe, on HBO. Does Conan go on the Tonight Show to promote it?
Oh, wow, that'd be interesting.
Do you think that he would? I
I think he would.
I bet he doesn't because he doesn't need to.
He definitely doesn't need to, but he
Yeah.
does. I'm pretty sure that he likes Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Leno, because
That would be
that
weird.
was like your first question. You're like, why was he only on for a year? And I'm like, well, if you look behind you at Jay Leno's, do you see there's a second appearance? And I was like, he retired and he wanted his job back, and they kicked him out.
He never really retired. They forced him out.
Yeah.
He had a show that came on like a half hour, an hour earlier, and then Conan's ratings just weren't awesome immediately.
Yeah.
So they reverted back to Leno, which, given some time away from it, I see Leno's side of it, and I think Leno is a good dude. Like, he gives a lot of money to charities and shit, and he shows up for events. He does a lot of good stuff. I never thought he was as funny as Conan.
Oh,
I
no.
never
he's
liked
funny.
his Tonight Show, but I don't think he's a bad guy. He was just trying to save a job for himself and literally the hundreds of
He's
people
a
that
star
work
of
for him.
Collision Course with Whoopi Goldberg.
Is he? Oh, was that an '80s, early '80s? Oh boy, what's another one he was in with like Pat Morita?
Pat Morita,
Yeah.
yes, I'm trying, or maybe that's it. Maybe
Like-
that's the
like
one.
Red Heat. No, that's not his.
Yeah.
Anyway. Did you like the rides then at Universal? That was the best one.
No, that was not the best one. The best one was probably Hagrid's,
That's Harry
I
Potter.
would say.
Yeah, where you ride the motorcycle and you got.
I did ride the motorcycle. I rode the sidecar and the motorcycle. Not at the same time, but at different
That's
times.
impossible.
Whoa.
Did you did you prefer? Did you prefer straddling or sitting?
Straddling.
Nice. High five that shit.
That's my girl.
You're supposed to say "Ka-ch."
What? You're
You
not
said
my
it for
girl?
me.
They said you were my wife.
Yeah, you're his wife.
My wife.
Keep the papers to prove it.
We just celebrated our 8 years together. You said you've been around since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We hit our 3-year wedding anniversary. You guys were both at the wedding.
Yep.
And a week ago was 8 years together.
Wow.
Blake, how's that like measure up with all of your past relationships? Are we getting in
Well,
Clayton territory yet?
I tell you what, I just recently celebrated my 9th wedding anniversary, which has been longer than both of the other ones combined, plus
Nice.
a couple years. But
This song played at our wedding. That's why Jason's playing.
You
it.
came out to it.
Yes, when we were presented as a couple
No,
by
yeah, we
Kevin.
left to it.
We,
Oh, you left
I
to
would
it, that's
never
right.
have allowed that to be the song I walked out
You're-
to.
you're-
It would have been
That's
Macho
ridiculous.
Man and Miss Elizabeth.
You're splitting hairs at this point. You know that's.
But you know, I said it earlier in the show. I mean, we have, as podcasters, me and Jason, as your friends. Well, I mean, we were friends before you and Jason were friends because you didn't like him as much.
right, right,
Uh-huh.
right.
You've always been the favorite
You know what?
because you love tie dye.
That's only a recent development.
It just makes him better. No, but I remember sitting at this table.
I remember sitting at your old kitchen.
But it was this table,
Yeah.
you know, and hearing the stories about this wondrous goddess that he had met.
And then 3 weeks later, he met Brianna. It was incredible. Isn't that wonderful?
And we were like, what about that
grandmother?
goddess? And he's like, I don't care. This one seems to like me. So,
They do have to like you back. Usually.
but no, it's good. It's good to have seen your guys' relationship.
I do remember that
blossom.
story,
Yeah,
and he was very excited.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Yep.
I'm an excitable boy, Warren Zevon style.
Is rugby over? Are you done with rugby?
No, it's just summer season. Fall starts up soon.
And you're going to be playing, or are you going
Yeah.
to be okay? Okay, good.
I'm the same way with slot car racing. In the summer, they don't do it,
Tie dye club.
so I have to go to
Tie dye in
Colorado.
the off season. That's right.
Wait till he starts tie dyeing.
I'm devoting
slot
time-
cars.
I'm devoting time to the state of Illinois this summer.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Thanks.
All right. The last thing I have, and Blake, I will open the door. For
I have
you.
one question, so yeah.
Okay. The last thing I have is as this show winds down, and other things have wound down in other podcasts and stuff recently. What is the future of podcasting as it relates to this group of people here? You guys do a show, Dustin and Brianna. You do a show together called Dishing Disney.
That's correct.
Dustin, you and I do a show with Kevin. You mentioned before called Radio Rewind.
Yep.
That's still going. Couch Pilots is ending. What does the future of podcasting look like for this group of people?
Well, Brianna, we'll start with you. Ladies
I
first.
have to answer.
Well, you start with me.
I only host the one,
Yeah.
so it will be whether or not I'm in the right mood to,
Yeah.
to either watch.
Are you a fair weather
I
podcaster?
am. I am.
I can't keep her on a schedule. It doesn't work that
But I
way.
wonder if that is the way to go. I mean, it's not good as a podcaster
No,
to be
you,
fair
do
weather.
you want to release like 5 episodes in a 2-month span and then not do anything for 5 months? But the thing is, it works for Dishing Disney
Right.
because that audience is just they're just hanging around.
It's consistently been your most successful program.
And, well, I think now Ernest has actually
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
And then it just ended.
Right.
Right,
Exactly.
right as we're hitting a nice stride.
Yeah, I think the Ernest downloads have surpassed the Disney ones.
With only 100 times the effort.
Right. Exactly.
That's
exactly.
it, though. Just 100 times. That's
And I mean, technically, Ernest was a Disney property, so.
All right. Now you're splitting hairs.
I know.
So Brianna says, "Hey, when I feel like it, that's my future plan, right?"
Well,
I don't-
any other shows
I
or
don't
show
want
ideas?
it to become a chore.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
I don't want
supposed to
it
be.
to- Believe
It's supposed to be fun.
you're
I mean, that was sort of how it
Preaching to the
started.
choir.
Dustin's the podcaster. I don't like for people to listen to me talk. I don't listen to the podcast because I don't like
She
to listen
doesn't.
to
She
myself
doesn't.
talk.
She doesn't hear all the great shit I do.
I
There's a lot of good
appreciate
editing.
it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to hear it.
So you wouldn't have an idea for yourself or maybe a friend because you told your rugby teammates about the podcasting stuff you do, and they
Yeah,
got
they
excited.
got all into it.
They got excited. So do you have? There's nothing that you would want to do outside of Dishing Disney. No other ideas you've had?
I very briefly talked to a friend like 3 years back, but I don't even remember what the idea was, so it must not have been that great.
Oh, that was your idea for the Jason hating podcast?
What?
You guys were just going to talk shit about
That's
Jason?
what it was.
But then you started to kind of like him a little bit more, so it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin, how about you? I mean, what you've like I said, the Ernest one's ending.
Yeah.
The Dishing Disney seems to just happen at random.
It's always there when we need it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you plan on?
Well, we're still doing Radio Rewind, and a Hoover boss is wanting to have Jason and I continue doing a show in some capacity. He's wanting to call it Yesterdays. It's going to be...
This isn't a big announcement.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he's not going to be on again. So...
Yeah, Hoover's not. We're definitely not having him back.
But yeah, he's wanting to do like a shorter 45-minute to an hour long,
I'll
think.
believe it when I hear
I know,
it.
same. Weekly show where he's actually going to be taking the lead. Jason and I said, hey,
What's going on?
we're out of ideas at this point. We
Wow.
can't. Well, you know, I was kind of burnt.
I've got some ideas. I got some
Maybe
ideas.
for you and Blake, but like for our trio, I was like, if you're wanting to bring something to the metaphorical table and take the lead and do the research, I'll indulge it and we'll give it a shot. And he's already come up with, I think, the subjects for like the first 2 months. We're supposed to be recording in about a month or so.
Yeah, he wants to do 4 at a time, which seems laborious.
Excessive, yeah.
But you know, for 5 years I worked with Dustin and Derek on it, and so I said, you know, if Derek can commit that amount of time, I will definitely hear out what he has to say and
Yeah.
give his new project.
I can give it the same time investment that I gave Ernest, if not less. That would be ideal, you know.
But he put a lot of time and effort
Sure.
into the Ernest show, and so I was like, you know what, you've dedicated that time. Let me, if you have an idea, let's try it out, see what happens. Now Derek is notoriously a very busy guy, and seems like he has some bad days sometimes. So I don't know if this is going to come to fruition. For Derek's sake, I hope it does, and we'll see what my involvement is going forward. But I'm going to definitely be on the first handful of shows.
Yep.
And we'll see what that looks like. But it's mainly going to be like was it 80s?
Nostalgia kind of thing?
80s and
Yeah,
90s,
like the
pop
whole-
culture nostalgia.
The first
show.
month is all about different 80s cartoons and action figure lines, some of which I'm not familiar with, and I know Jason probably is even less so.
Because his mom and dad didn't buy him toys.
That's right. I had to make my own fun.
Yeah, why do you think his brother's got that store? He's
Right.
trying to reclaim the childhood
Yep,
he never
exactly.
had.
Why do you think I collect all that weird shit at my house, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it was because of a brain deficiency. I didn't know it was because you
Could
didn't get
be.
His
toys.
parents fucking hated maps. He never knew where he was.
Oh God, they hated maps and they hated doll body
All
parts.
he wanted to do was become a cartographer when he grew up.
I was told there's nothing left to explore.
they're like, there's no money in that.
Are they flat earthers? Is that it?
My parents are both flat earth, and they came to that idea after they divorced separately, which is very interesting.
That could have held them together.
I was going to say that
Right.
that could bring them back
Well,
together.
they're both remarried, but they're secretly sleeping with each other once they found out that they're both flat earthers. So don't tell anyone. Hey, Blake,
They have a map blanket that they do it.
very good.
Yeah.
What is that? What about you, Blake? The same question. For
Yeah,
you.
what's your future?
Well, last night I brought up the idea of how getting rid of all this shit in this room in regards to all the table and all the wires and all the microphones and putting a bed in here would lead me to have my own bedroom with my dog, and so my wife could sleep better and I could sleep better. I got a very dirty look about that.
Oh.
So I'm thinking maybe I got to come up with another idea to podcast. I don't know.
Maybe this could become my bedroom because I would love to have my own bedroom.
You're gonna sleep here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let you guys figure that out. Huh?
But
Blake, that means
Alone.
you're gonna get access
I
to all
said-
of our streaming accounts now. It's your lucky day.
Hey,
you just got Paramount Plus, HBO Max, Disney
Boom.
Plus.
I can Apple TV.
I can cancel
all of it.
I can cancel
Peacock,
all. I can
Hulu.
cancel all mine now and just use yours. And that's great. I'll write that.
That would be my rent.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And you and Molly can drink together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she needs a drinking buddy.
So the future of you podcasting is not making this room into a bedroom.
We could podcast on my bed. Molly would be on the
So who had a show like that? She's dead now, though. Is Joan Rivers? She had a show in her bed. She would get in bed with like another comedian or comedian.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
And yeah, that is an idea.
No, I would like to get rid of all this shit. There's a whole closet, but nobody wants all of it. I mean, there's no there is no need for all this shit.
Could I use a mixer? Sure.
It's
But
not-
do I need one? I've made it all these years without one.
I'll give you a great deal because it's not mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's.
But I got one in there.
Wait,
That,
hold on. I hear Scott knocking at the door.
right.
It's worth something.
it's worth something to me. No, I don't know. I've been bouncing around an idea, and I don't know. I think I might just, I don't know. I'm just gonna go like I'm gonna be like Brianna, just kind of like play it as it lies.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on.
It's awkward.
Bing bong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Oddly enough, I had to change that light bulb in that sign the other day.
The sign behind me?
The fasten seatbelt sign that.
Oh, the fasten seatbelt sign.
Hey,
I don't know.
That would make me very nervous. I'm already a nervous flyer, but if a light bulb were out,
Yeah, she took 3 Ambien before we came over. Was that necessary?
Yeah, she did
Okay.
the right thing.
All right.
Have you seen us fly this plane?
Didn't you tell a story on here once about being like you were already scared of flying and then something happened to you to make you even more scared?
well, I was only afraid of flying because I was unfamiliar with it. But yes, my mom dated a man when I was in high school, and he flew this little 4-seater, and we were up in the plane, and fun, whatever. And all of a sudden, he did a nosedive without my knowledge.
Or
I thought I
consent.
was going to die just for fun.
That's funny.
And my mom still just insists that that's not why I hate flying.
Eli was 7 when his uncle took him on a 2-seater plane and did
remember
nosedives, barrel rolls.
But that
and-
kid knew it was going to happen, and it was awesome. Right?
Yeah. It just came up on Time Hop the other day.
It's like when you're in a van or like in you're in a vehicle, and then someone's carrying a semi in front of you, another vehicle, and then your friend's asleep, and you start honking the
yeah.
horns, screaming. It's the equivalent to that. And I think I remember that story because I remember I had decided that you have a bad mother, like your mom sucks.
Wow.
Right? That's-
Maybe that could be my podcast.
My mom
I
sucks.
have a lot of material.
Like you said, you had something you wanted to ask these two, right?
I did. Well, it's just Dustin. I'm sorry. I mean, I can.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay. I
It's-
can tell you if his answer is accurate.
That's true.
Okay. So she tells you what if your answers are correct.
In her opinion, yes.
Okay. Yes or no question.
Okay.
Is AI going to kill and ruin music as we know it today?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy. All right.
That's not what I
I
expected.
knew that would be his
The
answer.
true artists will never let that happen.
I told Blake to sit down long and hard and think about all the questions he could ask both of you in your final appearance.
That was
he came
it.
up with one yes or no question just for you.
But I thought
But if,
I
if it
did.
was burning on his mind,
It was. It's actually something I
know.
today I heard. I was listening to a podcast, Conan O'Brien, and that came up, and I didn't think about it at the time. I'm like, yes,
It'll
it-
produce some shit, but like, I don't think it's the end of good music, and not everybody's going to utilize those tools.
Okay. Brianna, my question that I had for you, 'cause I didn't just sit around and think of one question for Dustin.
oh,
He's coming up with it right now.
Why? Why are you so against online glasses frame shopping?
I said before we started.
I have never asked you this before, Brianna. This is a brand new question.
Okay, because it's a trade to learn everything that
Like a
goes
plumber.
into. Yes, exactly. That goes into it, but then you have people that open their own starter businesses that really don't know the trade of plumbing, or they really don't know electricity, or but they do shoddy work for people, and that's what online glasses
But can't I just
are.
buy them online and then come to you and have you adjust them?
No, not
doesn't
me,
work
no.
that way.
It doesn't work that way? Why not?
No.
Why not?
It can at some places.
I mean,
but
I know you. I mean, we podcasted together.
Please,
Yeah.
I was
please
at your
help him
wedding.
see.
Yeah.
Please help him.
What's the difference?
I will order you a pair of glasses to help you see.
Yay.
Well, they'll be more expensive.
Not necessarily.
You know the kind I like.
Bobby socks.
I like I don't like any kind of wires. I just want black. I don't like any kind of wires.
Wires. They do make glasses that have microphones in them. Are those the wires you mean?
You mean
Because maybe you'll like
Speakers or
podcasting more if you could
microphones?
do it on the move.
Yeah, I don't. Are they headphones or
They're
speakers?
speakers as well as they have microphones.
So people can hear what I'm listening to when I walk by them.
And it can be like, you know how people have hearing aids that attach
Huh?
to your phone? Maybe you should look
Yeah,
into that.
my father-in-law has those.
Well, they make glasses that do the same thing. It's just not in your ear holes.
Oh, well, are they expensive? Do you take insurance?
Yeah.
If I've got optical insurance,
Optical dental.
optional.
Is that the brand?
this is riveting, by the way, for those.
All right, fuck
listening.
me.
No, I can't watch a show or go somewhere without at least hearing once those frames don't fit them.
It's ruined you, right? For looking at people wearing glasses.
Kevin and Stephanie posted this of Zoe, and I sent it to Brianna preemptively, like Zoe's wearing those fashionably large frames now because
But she's adorable, so it's okay.
Now, those are fun frames, or is that a filter?
I think those are just somebody's glasses that they put on the kid.
And so she was probably going cross-eyed wearing someone
Right,
else's
right.
prescription.
It's like her. That'll be her nosediving in a plane. Is what that is.
Yeah.
That's gonna fuck her eyes up. Hey, today we discussed the pilot episode of Just in Case from the year of our Lord 1900 plus 88. Hey, great year.
Great year, 1988. I was
Knee deep in the roses.
13.
Oh my god.
I was
I was born.
Hey,
Hey, happy birthday! So if I was 13, that would mean you were 7
years old.
7.
And how old was Dustin?
Dustin was 5.
Nope.
I was 3 weeks older than Jason.
Yep, we're the same
Oh.
age. We're almost exactly the same age.
How am I supposed to know that?
Our parents all met at a
We're all flat earthers.
flat Earth orgy. Yeah. Hey, let's go.
Your dad just lasted a little longer?
Evidently.
3 weeks. My dad lasted.
Yeah,
3 weeks
his.
longer.
Yeah. I was actually supposed to be born in September, true story. So I shouldn't even be in October, but I wanted to incubate.
We got a little overcooked. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's go back to 1988.
In our minds.
And to do so, we'll talk about some things that happened that year so we can be in the proper mind frame of when Just in Case was made, because we can't judge it by today's standards.
No, 1988 and 2023, huge difference. And in lifestyles, there were no lesbians or transgender people in 1988.
you
Not
believe that?
one of them.
Can you believe that?
There wasn't even a rainbow flag.
Were there homosexual men, just not
Oh yeah,
homosexual
yeah.
women?
There's been homosexual men for a long
Okay,
time.
okay, I don't know.
Girls didn't get into it for a long time. We
Let them finish.
Let
them finish.
Oh,
obviously we did not have compact discs in 1988.
Thank you.
That happened a lot later. We didn't have podcasts in 1988. Right?
Yeah, you're right, buddy.
You are correct.
But we did not have Band-Aids either. And that's if you're going to take anything away from that list of the stuff I looked around in this room.
I don't know.
there weren't Band-Aids
Are-
in 88.
No, there was
Band-Aids
not.
are going to be invented after the final episode.
What did they put on
by
their
our math.
wounds? Gauze and tape?
Oily rags.
No.
Yeah.
Dirty, oily rag. They didn't know back
Chewed up
then.
chewing gum?
You had to clean your wound. They just thought if we wrap it in something, and
It'll clot.
And oily rags are so plentiful; they're everywhere. I could probably turn around and find one.
Wax,
That's why
paper.
back then you used to see a lot more mechanics.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they were like the place you would
Talk
go
about
to
a
get
trade.
oily
They
rags.
doubled as doctors.
No, they just had
Well,
excess.
no.
They They just had excess of ones, and so people went to mechanics a lot more to get those.
Yeah, they knew they had them ready to go.
You weren't even born yet. You were just born. You didn't know. They didn't have
That's why I'm
Band-Aids.
so curious.
Saran wrap and scotch tape.
I've never seen Blake less prepared for a segment that he invented, by the way. Fuck that shirt you're wearing, man. He's like, hey, you doing nothing for you. Hey, July 6th, the Piper Alpha production platform in the North Sea is destroyed by explosions and fire, killing 165 oil workers and 2 rescue mariners. 61 workers survive. Piper Alpha was an oil platform located in the North Sea about 120 miles northeast of Aberdeen, Scotland.
Hey, let's see that pilot.
Oil workers, all those towels that could have been used as Band-Aids.
Yep,
It's
they
a
all
real
went.
loss.
They all went in the ocean.
Burned up.
Those things are kind of freaky. Like they're just big, humongous platforms
It's
out
like,
in the
it's
middle
like
of
a
the
town.
ocean.
It's like
yeah.
a town just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
And
like,
there's probably abandoned ones that are haunted.
Have you seen that movie?
Sharks.
Have you seen that movie?
And the Megs.
What's it called? Like Black Demon or something like that?
I have no idea. I don't see color.
Just shapes?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Smart. Smart. But
what's your least favorite
If I
shape?
don't have my corrective lenses in, I don't see shit.
What's your least favorite shape?
Rhombus.
good.
Oh,
They're
fuck,
so pretentious.
fuck the rhombus.
Like you're just a diamond turned on its side.
We know you're a diamond rhombus. I would be terrified, I think, to go to one of those things. Just to think, like, I would think, how are you, like, cemented to anything in the ground? Like,
Right.
you could show me pictures of them building it and cementing those
Columns.
to the floor. I'd be like, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
That's not.
I've
That's
heard
not
you
real.
can weld underwater, but it sounds like black magic to me. But I don't see color.
So that's just magic.
Well, just think if you ran out of cigarettes. Where you can't get any cigarettes. Well, you ran out of beer.
But it's a whole town, you said. Why wouldn't they have like a convenience store or
Blake, would you want to get a job
if I
running the
were to
convenience
create an
store?
oil
on an
rig
oil rig?
town?
I don't think so. I don't think the ratio of men to women is very equal there.
Does that matter to you?
Yeah.
What's that have to do with cigarettes on an oil rig?
Hey.
Are you looking to...
Hey, same thing it does to cigarettes in prison.
He's trying to increase the surplus population on these oil rigs.
Say there's 300 men that work, or 300 people that work on an oil rig. It's probably like 270,
Sure.
290 that are men.
The
Yeah.
roughnecks.
Do you bring in prostitutes? Real question. Do you bring in whores to sleep with these guys so they don't become restless?
I would say that probably happens. I would definitely say that.
They're just called sex workers now.
Oh, what did I say?
Prostitutes as well as whores.
I don't see color. Hey, July 31st, 32 people are killed and 1,674 injured when a bridge at the Sultan Abdul Halam ferry terminal collapses in Butterworth, Penang, Malaysia.
Sounds like a lot of people died in '88.
It's a bad year. Bad year
Yeah.
for the Roses.
Maybe they should check those bridges. Maybe they all shouldn't have been on that bridge at one time.
Is that when that San Francisco earthquake happened with the
During the
World
Giants game?
Series? Yeah.
San Francisco versus
and that
Oakland A's?
Oakland, and then the bridge
But
collapsed.
that would not make sense if we're flat earthing.
True that.
You could still have a bridge.
You need to
collapse.
talk to my parents, I think,
That would
okay.
be, yeah.
in the middle of their lovemaking session.
On
I've known,
top of the maps.
Yeah.
On top of my-
listening,
on top of my paps.
the map.
listening to Amy Grant.
Oh, yeah.
build our
It's
relationship.
the only way my dad can get off. If I listen to Amy Grant.
Everybody has their kink.
Every heartbeat bears your name.
I've known people that have been afraid to go over bridges, and I've known ladies who are afraid to go into tunnels. Do any of you guys have an irrational fear, like maybe driving through the Cumberland Gap? Remember, were you afraid when you went through the Cumberland Gap, Blake?
I wasn't afraid. I was all jacked up on
I'm all jacked
caffeine.
up on Mountain
Mountain
Dew.
Dew.
By all accounts, when you and I and Heather and Big E went through the Cumberland Gap, you were sound asleep. We enter. I don't know if it was a pressure change or what it was. You instantly woke up and you rapped.
Rapped.
You rapped. You
That's
rapped.
what I heard. I'm so bummed I
It was
missed out
it was
on
the
that.
it was the rap through the gap. That's what happened that day. So do you not have a fear of going through a mountain?
Oh no, I don't have a fear at all of going through a
So
mountain.
what prompted hip hop?
I don't know. Things happen in my life I can't explain.
I don't like deep water.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the ocean. I don't
Yeah.
like the ocean at all. Dude, I can't swim very good, but I mean, you could just be hanging out like in the ocean, like to your knees, and a fucking shark come over and bite your fucking ankle off.
That's right.
I almost got bit by a jellyfish once. Fuck
You
that.
got bit by one?
Almost.
They sting.
They have teeth now?
This was an extra special jellyfish.
It was a Mexican one.
It was a wide mouth jellyfish. That happened to you, right?
No, I'm the
Dustin
one.
doesn't go into the water.
I avoid and I call out the jellyfish, and then everybody else gets stung but
But
me.
yeah, I was gonna say, didn't you have a thing?
I
where
avenged Drew
And Jackson.
and
They were both
Jackson.
stung multiple times.
he beat a jellyfish to
with a
death.
shovel
With a shovel, yeah. Why the fuck did we have a shovel
Yeah,
on the
no
beach?
shit.
to dig posts to put the canopy thing up. I think.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Beat the
but there
hell
was a
out of a
shovel,
jellyfish.
and I was like, I will. Put
But they don't
this
even
to
have
use.
like a spine.
They didn't know what was happening to him, but I
Cowards.
didn't care.
They're cowards.
I say,
no, I'm just saying, why'd you need a shovel? They don't have like bones.
because I'm not going to pick it up with my bare hands.
Well, they
It'll
don't-
sting me.
But when we went to Alabama, it was like
Roll Tide.
every they were rolling right in. Yes, it was like every second. Every second. We
But see,
would have a
why do you? Why
baby.
would? Why
They were
would?
bad.
What is the appeal to go out there? and
exactly. All of us got out of the water
We
except
had
for Jackson.
no appeal. It was Jackson likes to be in the water when we're at the beach, so he didn't want to be by himself. So I went out with him, and we were stung by at least 30.
Oh, that sounds.
But they were
horrible.
little babies, so they weren't. It was just very uncomfortable.
Yeah. You're very polite.
But you're out there in the water getting stung up. Obviously, you don't have a fear of water like these pussies over here. What is your what's your fear? Your rational fear? Water being.
Oh
Playing
no, I have a fear of drowning.
Okay. Just
You don't
like
like spiders.
I think suffocating / drowning, like knowing that your breath
Is that why you don't like the band?
time is running out and just having that mentally
Is that why you don't like the band Stained?
good question.
being stained. Or the band.
Yeah, that's why you don't like them.
it's been a while since
Since I was breathing.
Do they have a song called
I had
Suffocate?
a mud shovel and I killed jellyfish with it.
I know.
Do
but-
they have a song called Suffocate that no one's heard
Yeah.
of?
That was their
Okay.
first album.
I suffocate.
That was the first album. That was the good before like they got
Dysfunctional.
weird.
Yeah, that sounds great. Hey,
Jason hates rap rock.
that's the worst.
Listen to
fucking,
Radio Rewind. You'll hear all about it, Blake.
worst fucking shit.
I'll wait till the text chain comes out.
Why did we choose to watch Just in Case? There's 3 reasons and a kind of a phantom fourth. I did cherry pick all of the episodes that we watched with the guests who would be on those episodes. If the 2 of you want to volley the 3 back and forth and the 4th one,
Because it's
It's free.
well that.
Very
You can
good.
find it on the internet.
Whoa!
Is
The
it my
Phantom Fourth is
turn?
that it's Disney related.
It is Disney related, and it stars George Carlin, which you only do Couch Pilots episodes featuring George Carlin. And then, it's available
Yeah,
to find on the internet.
boom, you guys nailed it.
I said that already.
No, you
job.
said it was free.
But she said on the she had
Oh,
2.
okay.
The
The
one
there
you,
was only one episode.
that's the one you guys
I
didn't have.
win.
Yeah, it was only one episode.
Great job, guys.
Good job. Way to be a team.
Great job. Hey, you can find the entire episode.
She doesn't like the high five, does she?
No.
I don't like to make that noise.
Try it.
No
Really?
need for both of us to do it.
No, that's the whole point. Is for both of you to do it.
Try the noise.
There we
Not
go.
bad. That's not bad.
Try this noise.
Nope,
No,
not
Pauly
gonna
Shore.
try that one.
Flashbacks.
Not gonna try that one.
Probably sure.
Not
Hey.
gonna try it.
You can find the entire episode of Just in Case by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Brianna?
You know what to do, Tube.
Very good.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Oh, what's that? So, what's that?
What you got there? I got there, buddy.
Is it an interesting fact? Is that what you have there?
Can you stop yelling? This part makes me very nervous.
Hey, what am I supposed to do with all these frequent flyer miles?
You'll find out in the
accumulated?
last episode.
Good.
They aren't worth nothing.
Damn it! What about
That's
my
a double negative.
What about my couch
Purposely
coin?
so. What's that?
My couch coin.
Oh, it's going up.
Okay.
As soon as the show's no longer
Oh,
up,
yeah,
it's
the-
going to
I was gonna hang around and talk to Matt to make
That's
sure
basically
that was
why
all
we're
good.
stopping, is so that we can start making money.
My portfolio.
We're going to get money to stop.
Summary of the pilot. The ghost of a private detective teams up with an unemployed dancer to find the identity of the woman known as the Lady in Black who killed him.
By dancer, you mean a sex worker?
I mean, an oil rig
Prostitute, whore.
rag fucker.
An oil rig entertainer.
That's what I should have said. Blake, do you want to?
They're not going to be able to use the pole. There's too much
There's
lubricant.
There's like 400 poles there. They're all
petroleum.
Take your pick of the polls. Am I right, Blake? You want to grade that summary?
Sure. I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
This is a C is too wordy.
C. Brown, do you want to rate the summary?
It completely lacked half of what happened in the pilot.
Well, it's a summary.
What's the other half, you think?
The paramedic that fills up half of the pilot.
Dave?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Dave Porter.
Is that his name?
Great guy. Great guy.
Which pilot did he fill?
Oh.
Here we go.
Which one, boys?
Well, that one night that one night he drugged her and she was passed out and he had to carry her to bed. I'm sure he filled a couple holes there.
Blake, maybe you can carry me to interesting facts.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason has scoured the internet to find out facts about the show that you may not know. All that we ask is that you keep your opinions of these facts to yourself. Please don't taint someone else's experience by voicing your opinions.
Thank you, Blake.
Hey, thank you.
He's turning it back up. Look at that. Look at that. He's on it.
It's not the first time I've done this.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Interesting facts. Just in Case is a 1988 television film by Blake Edwards that aired on May 15th, 1988. Fact.
Hey, can I add an interesting addendum to that interesting fact?
I wish that you would.
So you mentioned who the writer is. He also wrote something that was in our binder on the Ernest P. Worrell Preservation Society.
Please tell me what that is, because it's not in my notes.
The Ferret.
Oh yeah.
We talked about
It was
who
kind of like
he was.
It was kind of like a non-Ernest, maybe Jim project,
Yes,
right?
and
Interesting.
It was
Wow.
included in there. I recognized the name, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the Pink Panther guy."
Holy shit! Well done.
Yeah,
Good job.
just to tie it into our other program.
Yeah. What I
That's
meant to
also
say.
ending.
What I meant to say is I knew that, and that's why I picked this pilot.
Yeah,
Blake.
That's the fifth rule.
That's right. Blake Edwards was a writer for TV, movies, and teleplays since the 1940s. One of the writers and creators of the Pink Panther and the former husband of Julie Andrews. Fact.
nice work.
The idea for the
You mean like
proposed...
as a get? Like Julie Andrews is a
not
good
not
get?
what I'm doing with interesting facts, but him getting Julie Andrews.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He married Mary Poppins, man.
That was the goddess
Married
before
Poppins.
he then met someone that was interested in
That's
him.
exactly
Spit
right.
spot.
The idea for the proposed series came from Edwards' daughter, actress Jennifer Edwards.
I'll call her daughter.
However, only the pilot was made, and plans for the series were later abandoned. Fact. The TV movie was produced by the Blake Edwards Company in association with the Walt Disney Television and was aired as part of the Sunday Night Magical World of Disney on NBC.
Not ABC.
I looked into that because I was curious about that too. In 1988, Disney did not own ABC at that time. And the Magical World of Disney, I think, had been around since the 1960s, but had jumped across different networks.
Yeah.
And there was a timeline out there. You can see that. But there's a small sliver during this time when it was on NBC. Fact.
Do you know what aired before this on that same program?
If I would have hit the back arrow on IMDb, I probably could have found out, but I did not.
It was Captain EO backstage. The
really?
The Michael Jackson ride at Epcot.
Yeah. Okay. I had no idea. Boy, that'd be an interesting watch, wouldn't
Right?
it? Just in Case started George Carlin, who was previously featured on Couch Pilots episodes What's Alan Watching and Apartment 2C. And, I interviewed his daughter. Whatever. Fact.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you were on that episode.
Apartment
Yes.
2C. That's right. Another reason I chose.
Yeah.
The sixth reason.
No Bobcat Goldthwait in this
Building
one.
all the reasons up.
Also starred Molly Hagan as Jennifer Spaulding. You may know her from Sully, Herman's Head, Election, Walker, the Walker Texas Ranger reboot. She's in that. It's currently airing. And two other Magical World of Disney episodes, including Davy Crockett, A Natural Man, and Davy Crockett, Warriors Farewell. Fact.
She was hot.
Jane the Virgin, you ever watch that show?
No.
Is that had Tom Hanks in
She's
it?
on that too.
Was Tom Hanks in Jane the Virgin?
No. That you're thinking Sully.
No. What's the something when a
Castaway.
virgin in a like a virgin in a volcano?
Forrest Gump.
You've got
Joe
mail.
versus the Volcano.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Joe and Virgin does. It's like Laurel. What's the other one?
Jane
No.
the Virgin, Joe versus the
Whenever
volcano.
whenever I hear anything about a volcano, I just associate that with a virgin.
Oh, I
'Cause
think
that's what you
Tommy
throw
loves
in
Jones.
there.
Ready to burst.
Joe and Virgin is the Laurel Yanni of that generation, right?
Yeah.
Yanni. You remember the Laurel Yanni?
Laurel Yanni. Yanni.
remember that? Some people, like they said, if you're past this age, you hear that. It's like a sound clip, and some people heard the sound clip as Laurel, and some heard it as Yanni.
Is this like the dress
Live at the Acropolis?
It is like that, and less like what you said.
Was it a bluer?
That's what I'm
gonna pull it up.
Did you hear about that guy?
I'm gonna pull it up.
That guy that started that and took that picture. He's in prison for murder, attempted murder, or something like that.
Tell me, Dustin left. I assume he had to go take a huge shit, fried chicken shit.
Don't call him chicken shit. He's not scared. He can't.
Watch what I call him, buddy. Hey, the two of you, listen to this, and you tell me if this person is saying Laurel or Yanni. This is an internet sensation that we are years behind on.
Okay.
Laurel. 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 Laurel.
Laurel.
Laurel.
Laurel.
I agree.
I also hear that.
How do they get
How
they
are
get
others-
Yanni out of that?
I don't know. I'm trying to find another version of it.
Also, why is this recording out there for anyone to even determine what they're hearing?
Because two people were hearing different things. Like Blake said with the dress, where people saw the different colors of the dress in that picture. You know,
Yeah.
it's the audio version of
But
that.
why is that a recording? That's the main.
Why did someone record that?
Yes.
Here's someone that says this is the original recording. Let's see if we can hear that.
Laurel.
It's weird because with the first one that it said sounded less like Laurel.
It sounded like moral.
It only sounds
No,
like
it
Laurel
sound-
to me, which I think that just means we're too old, and whatever other high-pitched weird noises are in there to make it sound like Yanni, we just are unable to hear anymore.
This is what AI is doing.
I will also say this, and we might talk about the next episode. We'll see. My brother had the video game con recently, and Dustin was there. Thank you.
Yeah,
for coming.
I was
Blake,
there.
you were there. Thank you for coming. Missed you. We missed you, Brianna.
Thank you.
Brianna.
Brianna, I'm sorry.
He's doing it on purpose, so you hate him again.
No, I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just stupid.
Like he needs another woman to hate him.
There's we had a bunch of arcade machines there, like 11 arcade machines and a bunch of like 50 consoles that you could play. I was working with a younger guy setting up some stuff, and he says, that machine is driving me crazy. And I said, what machine? He says, that arcade machine. And he points right at it. And I was like, why? Why is it? He says, because it's a high-pitched buzzing noise.
I hear that kind of stuff sometimes.
And I was like, I don't hear it at all. I wasn't like, oh my God, why can't I hear? I knew instantly I'm just too fucking old, and I've had too much abuse on my brain. I've just gotten past the point where I can hear high-pitched shit like that. And I was like, I'm fine. I'm going to keep working. You can go sit on attack.
I recently bought a little clicker thing, and it's got a training.
This is for a dog.
Yeah, it's got a train. No, it's Molly. It's got a training, and then it's got a deterrent, and it's there's high pitched sounds that we can't hear. And I was like, this. I was like, I got this for $20. It's probably not real. Man, the first time I pushed that, those fucking dogs turned around. One took off, and one turned around and looked at me like, "What the fuck is going on?" It works.
Can we
it
all
shuts them
agree
the fuck up?
that any kind of training for dogs is just torture for dogs? We are torturing dogs for them to do our will. Can we agree on that or not?
No, not
No, I don't think so.
The act itself, I mean, what would you do if someone were to attach a collar to your neck and every time that you spoke out of turn, you were like, "No, bitch," but not torture.
Oh,
no.
because it's a girl dog.
Yeah. Where do I find one of those?
Yeah, it's a whore, a prostitute,
I didn't say
rag,
that.
a rag of what?
Nope, I don't see color.
An oily rag.
Last interesting fact, president of Disney at the time, Michael Eisner, would often record bumpers for these made-for-TV movies and did so with just in case warning children and presumably their parents that there were no such thing as ghosts. End of interesting facts.
Michael Eisner's a fucking weirdo.
I think he touched kids.
Just real quick, I know we got.
I would not be surprised.
Real quick, yes or no? Are there ghosts, Dustin? Are ghosts real?
I'm agnostic.
Blake,
Yes.
ghosts are real. Brianna, ghosts are real.
I don't know.
Jason, ghost real.
Absolutely not. It's fucking ridiculous. Hey, Twitter responses. How about that?
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Goes to George Carlin.
I wish. No, it'd be great to interview his daughter again. But here's what I did get. Anytime we do one of these pilots, and we only have one left, essentially, so I'm not going to do it anymore, really. I'm kind of done doing it. But what I would do is I'd send out to the writers, directors, producers, stars, and creators of all these pilots, and I would say, hey, thank you for content, or what would I say? I usually put it in here. What do I say? Do you remember? I usually have it right here in front of me. I don't. What do I say?
You just say, hey, we watch pilot episodes. We're just to hear from you. That's all I remember.
That's not very good.
I think you can be a little, I don't know.
I said, hey, we're the Couch
verbose.
Pilots podcast. We watch TV shows that only one episode.
Yeah.
Next up for us is Just in Case. We're excited to watch it and wonder if you had anything fun or interesting you'd like to share with us. Thanks. Hope to hear from
you.
And usually you wouldn't.
Usually I don't hear back from people. But I did hear back from someone here. This is Timothy Stack, who played Officer Swan.
You got Timothy Stack to message you.
There's
The skinny one that talked a lot, or the one
tall, skinny guy.
Okay.
That's Timothy Stack. He played Officer Swan. And for those, and it sounds like Dustin knows who he is, but he's a very prolific character actor. He's had a career since the early 80s with projects like Trapper John M.D., The Best Little Sex Worker House in Texas, Facts of Life, Punky Brewster, The Brave Little Toaster, Night Court, Alf, The Golden Girls. Always got to add that. And he works to this very day on
Son
shows.
of the Beach.
That was his show. Yeah, that show was.
He
for
was
him.
on My Name Is Earl.
Yep, he was on show, and also he works today with shows like Curb Your
Garcia.
Enthusiasm, and there's a current show I think it's on CBS called Ghosts that he works on.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've been wanting to watch that.
We watched
I mean-
that, and that was going to be brought up later when we're done talking about
We can't
this
do it
episode.
now, or you can still. It's up to you. I don't care.
Don't tell me what I can't do. It's
That-
my final appearance.
That's right. Yeah, all
Fucking Dustin's
all
gonna go
rules up in
rogue. He's like, fuck
I'm gonna
this shit.
fucking land this plane.
Whoa! This is what
We've never been
Timothy Stack-
hijacked before.
Timothy Stack, you can find him at TV's Tim Stack. He said, hey, it was a fantastic 10 days. Got to hang out with two legends, George Carlin and Blake Edwards. Also the very talented / nice Molly Hagan. It doesn't get much better. I did follow it up with a question, which he did not respond to. So that is the end of Interesting Facts.
He was probably drinking based on
What was your
I've
question?
seen.
I think my question was something like, any idea why this didn't go to series? I was trying to engage just a little bit more, because I recognize Timothy Stack. I knew his name, and I thought that'd be cool to talk with him or try to get him on the phone. Hey, it didn't happen.
It's okay.
He's a busy guy.
You
Well, but he also just probably read your question and was like, that seems like an obvious answer. I shouldn't have to.
Oh, a little
Ooh.
precursor to what your score is going to be. Let's put 10 minutes on the clock, Fake, and we'll talk about the entire episode of Just in Case, starting from the very first thing that we see. Dustin, do you want to start us off? Blake's very busy writing of something, probably a grocery list
Well,
of some sort.
the first note I have in regards to the actual plot was that she's at an audition and she passes out.
Yeah, she's sick. She wakes up with a cold.
Yeah,
she's
she
sick.
wakes up at her apartment.
When
sick
she wakes
before
up,
she even...
Yeah.
then she knows it's gonna be a allergy kind of day. Then she goes to her audition and she does a really, really bad job. Okay, sorry.
I think I gotta turn that bulb, maybe. Yeah, she's. You said you always turn it back up. And you did fucking. She's late on her rent, and she's like, I'm going to a thing. I'm going to get some money, and he's like, 3 p.m. today.
Yeah.
She goes to a dance thing. I don't think she gets it. She passes out.
No, she
being
passes
sick.
out.
And then she goes in the ambulance. There's an EMT who like he knows this
He's
lady for
stroking her head.
Oh,
literally
yeah.
my note. Like,
Ugh.
how does that work?
I don't know.
And then get this. She's at the hospital. He comes to check on her and starts eating her food. When he's like, "Yeah, you just needed to eat something."
Yeah,
and
he-
he's like,
like
"Let
this.
me eat your food."
He brings a balloon, and she's
Yeah.
like, I can't pay for this. As he starts to eat her food, and he's like, don't worry, I know the doctor, and I told him.
Yeah.
I told
You're my
her,
girlfriend.
Yeah, don't worry about the insurance.
Is that what you just do? Like my wife recently went to the hospital. Should I just said she didn't have to pay because that's my wife?
Yeah, with some air fried salmon. They're kind of dry. I would not recommend eating that one.
The baggage boys brought snacks.
Kind of moist.
Do you want to try an air fried?
This is air fried salmon brought to us
Yeah.
by the baggage boy.
I'll try.
Thank you,
Might
son.
have honey on them, but it might be a little dry.
All right.
Quit touching them.
Oh, no. Thank you.
I don't know.
Wow, no, there's no way I would eat that. Thank you.
You don't like salmon?
I don't like fish.
It's hot. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm letting
Yeah, I
mine
was going to
cool.
say that's pretty
Oh,
hot.
I just came out of the air fryer. My bad.
This
Wow.
is your
That's
last
okay, it's
appearance
very-
on the show, by the way.
Oh.
Well,
Well, I listened to your episode. That was pretty fun.
he did a really good job. He was on it.
He was on it.
He kind of got a little cocky there towards the end.
Did you get molested on your camping trip?
Yeah, how'd Canada
The
go?
world wants to know.
Oh, no, I did not.
No, that's good. Great.
That's
Are you
good.
sad or happy about that?
He had a bunch of bumps. He said they were mosquito bumps. I don't think so.
You think they were
Did
mouth STDs?
Did you eat any poutine while you were up there?
Whoa,
That's
whoa.
the French fries and gravy. Okay.
Did you have a good time? I'm glad you're back safe and sound.
Poutine on a steak.
Been back for 3 weeks.
All right.
How dare you,
Jesus.
Jason?
Yeah, he was leaving when we were doing the marathon.
He actually went on a different camping trip since then.
You know, if I knew exactly what this boy was up to, this 15-year-old boy, I would be a villain. Okay? I don't keep track of this boy.
That's
I
true.
should be at least
That's
3
true.
weeks behind on what the fuck this kid's up to. I'm sorry for swearing. He's pretty chill.
You get him fired up.
Hey, thanks for wearing clothes when you came down to see Dustin.
Yeah, for our final podcast goodbye.
It's probably the last time you'll see him ever.
No, I'm gonna get in my underwear later, and then
No!
hug everybody.
Let's just all do it right now.
Yeah.
I already have a hole
No,
in
you're
my
not going
pants.
anywhere. All right, get the hell out of here.
Thanks for listening to the show.
That's to all you listeners out there.
The saddest thing I've ever heard.
You think with
That's
a
really
kid?
good.
You think with a kid that tall, he'd be able to talk louder?
Jennifer-
Is it good, really?
Yeah.
You don't like fish, right?
I don't eat fish.
You would never in your life eat fish.
Anything that swims, I don't eat.
Can you imagine?
Why? You don't like the taste, or it's just the idea of it?
There's so much food that he doesn't eat that's so incredible. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Dino nuggets, he's in.
Yeah. Chicken
What if
nuggets
the
in any
fish
shape.
were shaped like dinos?
Yeah, what if this
No,
was a
there's-
Stegosaurus salmon?
There is no shape that it could be in.
Jennifer tells the EMT worker, you find out later his name is David, that she's probably been evicted from her place, and he offers her to give her money and or have her stay with him. Wow.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, they move in
Completely
and they're
willing
like,
to do either of those things.
Are they fake boyfriend and girlfriend? I almost feel like he's in.
He's obviously
Yeah,
interested
that's
in
the
her.
whole thing.
I feel as though he is taking advantage of a situation.
I was 7 and when this came out. Is that how people did it back then?
I don't know. I was only 13. I couldn't get girls to talk to me.
That carried on to this day, but
Ooh, burnt mega bird.
Wow.
Super bird.
What am I, a piece of salmon?
The EMT comes up with a plague story to get the landlord to give him access to her stuff so she can get, so he can grab all her stuff so she can move in with him.
it just makes you wonder how many times he's done that.
Well,
Yeah, that's
it's
bizarre.
funny because that night his EMT buddy calls and says, "Hey, I saw you. Remember that girl that had the allergic reaction? or whatever?"
redhead.
Yeah,
Betsy.
he's like, she wants. Here's her number. She wants you to call him. So it's obvious this good-looking guy has used his employee his job to better his sex life.
But he said he kind of turns his buddy down though. He says, "I'm not
Well,
interested.
because
I got
there's a girl that's passed out that's sitting right there.
Yeah, he's got a new one.
But, if
take
he
the
was
passed
if he
out.
was a real dog, he could write her number down, put it in his pocket, and use it later. But he didn't even do that. He was kind of like already super committed to this lady he met earlier that day.
Way committed.
Did
Way
you
too-
pay attention to that song that they feature on the television?
I don't know. What was it?
So
Terrible.
we both commented on it when it happened, and I was like, I have no idea what this is. I Shazammed it, and it's a band called the Satellites, SATT.
Georgia Satellites?
Yeah,
Satellite in my eye.
It's called-
a diamond.
Give me some kind of sign is what the name of the song, but it has been Shazammed over 2,000 times. So that made me wonder how many of those 2,000 times were people watching this pilot. They're a Canadian reggae band.
1988
Yeah.
to the time that Shazam existed.
Right.
And then since then, how many? Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
1 million clowns.
That's the next day. Jennifer, she gives her neighbor, or her new neighbor, since she moved into this place, his newspaper while she was trying to steal it because she was wanting to look for a job. She wanted to classify it.
Yeah,
I recognize that
Yeah,
guy.
I
from
recognize tons of stuff. This whole pilot has a lot of character actors. The taxi driver, the guy that gets handcuffed to the door.
Yeah,
The
this
guy that the delivery guy that delivers the
That's
package.
Jay Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, WKRP in Cincinnati, the neighbor was on that. I think
right,
he
right,
also
right.
played the molester on Different Strokes
Oh,
on that very
you
special
might be
episode
right.
where Dudley gets the bike.
Who says yes to that job? Why a guy who had success?
He was also
in a
in
show?
Golden Girls and like tons of stuff.
Well, I think at that point you're trying to push yourself as an actor.
Yeah.
I'll push myself another direction. She finds a listing for a secretary position at the Case Detective Agency. She makes an appointment to interview, and then she arrives at this large, kind of almost rundown building that contains a number of businesses inside. And while she's going into the agency, she passes a lady wearing all black while entering the detective's
black
office.
veil, black dress, black hat.
Cadillac. The girl's a time bomb,
Yeah.
right?
Guitars and Cadillacs.
She goes into a seemingly empty office and comes across a dead guy and turns around to see the same guy who's on the floor who declares, he just says, the first thing he says is, "I'm dead."
I'm dead.
Yeah. George Carlin ghost.
Right. And,
That's George Carlin, yeah.
And I wrote that, right, he instantly goes into a George Carlin bit, like how his cadence, on his, explaining why he...
His stand-up cadence.
Yeah, and how he always very detailed and how he explains stuff. It just seemed very I was like, oh, this is...
It's definitely
right
his
off the
cadence,
bat.
but it's also kind of like a goofy and awkward introduction to what the main element of this proposed series would be.
Right, because she is very uncomfortable, and she's trying to kind of back away from him.
Oh, yeah, she's almost in shock, I'd
yeah.
say.
And then he disappeared. Oh, she's like, "Well, I can see you. How can you be a ghost?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, I don't know if I don't know how to do it. I just became dead." And he learns how to disappear, become invisible,
Just by thinking it.
just by thinking it.
There's several times during the episode where that happens, where to me it's just like they're leaving the door open for this ghost to do whatever they want him to do.
Yeah, this ghost
going
becomes
forward.
fucking tangible. They hold
Yeah.
hands at one point.
Yeah.
That's not how ghosts
it
work.
is not fluent through the whole.
No, they're making up their own rules.
They're like, we don't really have a certain kind of special effect we can use here, which should be used, but we can make him look like he's smoking a cigarette later on. It's just
But he can smoke a cigarette, but he can't eat. And he can eat, but he can't taste.
He can't.
and he
So
drinks.
what's the point of smoking a cigarette? Is it habitual?
Well, that's what he said. He
Muscle
tried
memory.
he was trying to smoke a cigarette, and he said he couldn't taste it. And same way with he was drinking booze, it just
Yeah,
went.
he makes puddle shoot. Like he's got puddles.
And why was it two
Afflictions.
puddles? Why was it two puddles? He wasn't drinking from two different cups.
No, he wasn't.
It went down each leg.
Yeah,
But he
ghost leg.
Duh, idiot.
His ghost balls parted the sea.
Jennifer's got huge shoulder pads. I don't know if you guys noticed.
That's
that.
80s. That's
Totally parallel to the floor, just boom.
big bangs, big curly hair.
She tries. He makes himself disappear, and she kind of sees it, and she passes out.
I gotta give her props. Like for that pass out specifically, she goes like up against the door and just dead drops.
Ragdolls it.
Yeah,
Living in the
and
movie.
they are really big on the slapstick physical comedy,
Oh, sure.
and I do think she committed very well to that.
And there is a faint count. This pilot
It's the number one on the faint count here.
It can be used as a drinking game because every time somebody faints in this pilot, you should take a drink.
Well, speaking of booze,
You just want to use your new
drinking
water
game.
bottle.
Speaking of a drink game, he does wake her up with booze, and he drinks some of it himself. And this is where he gets it on the floor because it goes right through him. And Disney's having a lot of fun with like green screens and ghosts floating objects in this, even though it doesn't look awesome. But Jennifer's kind of in shock, and she wishes that she was dreaming, she says. And she tells him why she's there, and they start to talk about what may have happened to him. They almost immediately start in this kind of like, hey, how did I die? I don't remember. They say he does
And
mention this-
he includes her. He's a private investigator,
Yeah.
but he's already including her.
He does say something that you never hear the bullet with your name on it. He says that earlier because he was shot to death. And that line reminds me of the towards the end of The Sopranos over here. I don't know if you guys...
Never saw it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
He introduces himself as the owner of the detective agency, Just in Case. They shake hands, in which, again, they can physically touch.
Like, what's that about?
He advises her to call the police, and they arrive, and she's interrogated
She
by
can
the
fuck
cops.
a ghost. With that logic.
Technically, she could get a.
He can masturbate.
She could give a ghost a hand job.
Yeah, what was that? Ghostbusters got it right? When Dan Aykroyd gets
Aykroyd.
blown by a ghost. Do you remember that, Brianna?
Nope.
It's as you know what? If I close my eyes,
Uh-huh.
it's just like with Molly was on right now.
Oh, boy.
She just randomly says something once in a while as she looks at her phone.
What are you looking at on
I
your phone?
forgot.
Anything
I
good?
forgot her notes in the car.
You watching just in case porn?
No, Actually, I'm
Ordering me some glasses.
talking to my boss.
Oh.
Can you get him on?
Never,
Fuck that guy.
Never off the clock. She's
It's a she.
She's
Can you
always.
get
But
off?
I love how you assume it's a man.
Men are usually bosses, and women's are
Yeah,
subservient.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
misogynist. Get your
Yeah.
boss on the fucking mic.
He's the misogynist massager.
Let's see.
Okay, so the cops come and they're interviewing her, and this is where we see Mr. Stack, right?
Yeah, they really go hard on the dumb cop.
Yeah, the other one's kind of a
Yeah.
bumbling
And
idiot.
and-
Is the tall one the one that responded to
Tim
Twitter?
Stack, yeah.
That was not the dumb one.
I think this is the youngest I ever remember seeing.
yeah, he
him.
does look really young.
Oh, had you seen this before? Had you seen Just in Case before?
No, but when I saw, I was like, oh wow, I'm just
the
not
earliest thing
used to
you've seen him
seeing Tim Stack that young.
And definitely this was a focal point in regards to the physical comedy or the joke. These are going to be the bumbling cops.
Yeah.
And the shorter fat guy. I mean, he doesn't say anything for like
No.
a long period of time, but
He's
yet,
just kind of like popping it out of frame and just being dumb. And
but
goofy.
yeah, just being goofy and weird.
The police knew Justin Case, just probably for
Sure.
being a local detective. And it seems like they did not like him. Justin appears and kicks the bumbling cop in his butt, and that's a series of confusions too, because obviously he can't see him.
Right.
And I'm
If
curious,
he wanted him to, he could. Apparently, though.
And so they continue to kick each other in the butt, and then it's like these are the people that are upholding
Trying to solve it.
justice.
They're trying to
within
solve a murder.
Yeah.
There's a dead body on the floor, and they're kicking each other in a tushy
Yeah.
touch.
It's interesting to me because we, the audience, can see George Carlin appear as a ghost and then kick a man in the butt, but he can't. The guy who got kicked in the butt can't see George Carlin, but we, the audience, can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean when we, the audience, can see him, that still means no one
We're
else
dead.
can? That means we are dead.
Yeah.
We Shalamond ourselves.
Yeah.
So ghosts exist.
But that
We are all
Jennifer.
ghosts.
Jennifer can see him though.
Yes.
So, but like only she can see him.
Yeah, because he apparently thought, it's okay if she sees me.
Or is it
Right.
like the first person who comes across your body can see you? Like the rules are always real super
It's real
loose.
fucky.
It's real loose.
Yeah. Based on all the ghost shows I've encountered.
Well, you don't
over the
believe in
years.
ghosts, so why are you watching shows about ghosts?
He's agnostic.
I'm agnostic.
In the
He didn't say whether he believes. He just said agnostic. Agnostic means you question things.
Which I do.
He may believe it. He may believe in them.
If enough factual evidence is brought to me,
ectoplasm.
then I'd be like, you know what? I believe now. I believe.
Jennifer and
I'm agnostic to believing.
Justin take an elevator down, and Justin says that Jennifer is hired. He thinks he needs to keep doing what he was doing on Earth before he died in order to be able to move on to the afterlife or Ghost Town or something.
He's got to figure out this last case and who killed him.
What was funny about this is in my notes, I put, how the hell could this be a series? And then that scene happened. I was like, and then they answer my question.
Right.
Like immediately after
There-
I type it,
there's
like,
a lot of shows
we're going to
can-
keep doing this.
Yeah.
A lot of
Because
shows
he-
can put in a throwaway line here or there to answer these big sweeping questions, and they kind of did it.
Well,
there.
and he even says, "You're my partner now." And so by saying you're my partner, that
Sealed the
you're
deal
a team.
for-
You're a team.
Well,
This-
not only have they made a connection already, but he wants her to be his partner because he says he needs a physical, alive person to help him along.
Yeah, he needs a corpse.
That's right.
but if he
that
can
he can
touch
animate.
things and no one can see him, I feel like that would.
But you
that
got to
would
remember,
be-
he hasn't been
what do
dead
you
very
need
long.
a
He doesn't know
partnership
he doesn't
for?
know what he can and can't do yet. He's just died.
He
Yeah.
just, you got to give him a break.
God.
And then he realized it, and that's why.
Just
this
like
is
a
only
woman, doesn't even
pilot.
give a guy time to learn.
Get your boss on the phone. He's a man, right? Hey, outside the building where the detective agency is located, Jennifer unknowingly passes the woman black, and she does notice her. He says, I think she's thinking, something just happened, or she kind of discovered his body. There she is. She makes a note of that, the woman in black.
Yeah, this is 25 minutes in which I got the quote from Brianna, "Oh, Jesus, we're not even halfway."
At the EMT's place, David, we find out his name. Jennifer makes dinner.
What kind of dinner does she make?
Oh, boy, what does she make? Was it a salad?
What kind of salad?
A hot salad?
It was a hot salad. She says hot salad.
That's a,
He,
that's a
he said,
Doughboys reference.
he goes, "You made a hot salad?" And she's like, "Yeah."
It's a Doughboys reference, yeah.
And he loves it. He loves the food. This is when his buddy calls and says, "Hey, I got this redhead who wants to fuck your brains out." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good right
I
now."
thought that was the night before. Anyway,
I'm good with this brunette doing it.
Yeah.
he makes
Maybe next week.
He makes a toast for her new job. While they're having dinner together, they turn on the TV and they see the scene that we just saw of the police interviewing Jennifer, like from the same
camera angle,
like,
but on the television.
Yeah, like everything that we like. What that says is there was a camera there and a reporter.
We are the camera
that we were not aware of.
Yeah.
But we saw the exact same. It was a really kind of a dumb fuck up, if you ask me. Anyway, David questions her heavily about the report and the murder, and she tries to skirt the questions because she'll sound insane if she tells him about the truth.
She's cuckoo bananas.
She is anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, she acts very weird here, and
he just let her move into his house.
How do you expect her to act when she's been seeing a dead man that's just tried to hire her to solve this murder?
I think that if I had the situation where I'm seeing this dead person, like that, I'm trying to be cool around other people.
Cool.
You know,
Blake, you would know what to do.
I'm a man. Of course, I'd know what to do.
Get your boss on the phone. So let's see what happens next.
She sends him out for pizza and beans.
Well, because she's ruined the dinner.
Well, Justin appears.
Spills it everywhere.
But really, she didn't ruin that much. It was just his plate or something. I mean, it wasn't like the whole thing.
Justin appears in the apartment.
He phases through walls now.
He knocks the food out.
And she's just looking for a reason to get David out of the apartment
so she can have a conversation with
this ghost. She can touch that ghost.
Yeah, and then he goes and he
just in case.
This is where we find out the neighbor's name is Sheldon.
Yeah, the macaw's got the squirts. Or what? Squitters.
Am I to presume in this pilot that the next door neighbor is a homosexual?
I think so.
Okay.
They are camping him up. It's never addressed. But
if this pilot continues, do we meet his boyfriend?
No,
he's
his
got
macaw,
birds.
And we'll talk more about the macaw later.
Justin and Jennifer.
We'll macaw it back
because it's 88, and men only just discovered that they could be gay.
No. Men have known it for a long, long time. The Romans used to fuck each other. That's why they have bathhouses.
Do we want Dustin? Would you mind letting in guests for next week?
I suppose so. I saw the text message.
Okay.
Would you guys talk about the macaw squirts?
Thank you. Justin and Jennifer talk more about what Justin's abilities are. He wants to know where Jennifer is, he just knows, but he can't teleport there. He has to like travel there, and he took a cab in this instance.
Right.
And he only got to David's apartment
because the door was unlocked.
Yeah, so he didn't know he can go through walls, but here he learns he can go through walls if he thinks about it or wants to. Anyway,
but you got to understand. I mean, technically, it makes sense. I mean, he has not even been dead for 24 hours.
Curve.
He also knows what's going to be on the TV next and can change the channel with telepathy. Right? He says something about her going to be on the TV, and he starts switching. He doesn't have a remote in his hand. He just starts switching the channels with his mind.
Well, it's kind of like having a ghost as your main character is kind of like having a cartoon. You can make any rule you want.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah, they're playing loose with it, fast and loose, and they can.
I love when he says fast and loose. I really do.
He also says 10 at a time for a dime.
Cool. The look on his face.
It's just cool. It's just he's still like if he had a leather jacket on and said that.
Yeah, he's pretty horned up over there.
No, it's just cool, man.
No, you're horny.
Okay.
While picking up the food, David hears on the news that Jennifer was there at Justin's murder scene. And just then, back at the apartment, Jay Thomas, a famous comedian and actor, he's passed away.
He was the girl on Cheers, the waitress's husband. He was a hockey player. He was a goalie for the...
He was on Cheers, that's right.
What was the girl's name?
Carla.
Carly. It was Carla's husband.
By Rhea Perlman. That's Danny DeVito's wife. Yeah. Jay Thomas knocks on the door in an attempt to deliver a package. Jennifer is paranoid about the woman in black. Maybe he's tracked her down or why someone's knocking on the door. So he leaves the package there, and the neighbor sees it and takes it into his unit.
Well, but before that, George Carlin learns he can go through walls, so he just pokes his head out to see this delivery. It was very poorly done. I know it was 1988, but it was very, very poorly done. It just seemed weird. Why would you just stick your head out just to where your neck was?
I don't know.
I have bad CGI in my notes.
Well, if you're still learning, then maybe
that's true. You brought up a good point.
So we see the same. The neighbor sees the package. He takes it, and he takes it into his place. And his place is nuts. It's full of all this.
It's like your house,
but similar. But it's all gold and stuff. He's got this bird who probably shits and everything. It's disgusting.
Because he's got the squitters.
Squitters.
That's why he's giving him medicine.
Justin says he went to his own autopsy to get more info about what happened to him.
Yeah, he was like, that was kind of weird.
They talk about the woman in black. He says, I know who she is. It's Ivy Smith. And she was there about being blackmailed. And then David comes back with the food, and he questions Jennifer about what they just saw on TV. And Justin kind of helps her lie through that conversation with David. Because, again, she would sound crazy if she told the truth. And then she does tell David the complete truth, and she does sound like an insane person.
Right.
Just joking.
I'm
joking.
I'm joking.
Yeah, and that's like, for him, that was like, oh, okay, here's this crazy person who I just let move into my house. Yeah. She just had an episode, but she was just joking.
I just added her to my bank accounts. I gave her a key.
Right.
All of this could be solved if Justin would just prove that he's a ghost by doing something and levitating something. He refuses to do it, and then Jennifer tells him that she was kidding.
Because if his point is, if he really is into you, then you don't need to prove it.
But aren't we beyond that? We're worried about someone murdering her and solving his
definitely.
murder.
That'll happen.
So are you telling me that when you and Dustin first started dating, you had a ghost that followed you around? He should just accept, because he likes you, he should accept the fact that you're talking to yourself?
I already have.
It's a great
there
question.
are plenty of
shit.
other things that Dustin has accepted.
No, legit. Like
from very
I
early
hear
on.
a voice from upstairs. I'm downstairs. I'm like, are you talking to me or the dog or yourself? The dog. Okay.
You guys have to have a password, a keyword. They
Yeah.
always, right in that instance, Sheldon's macaw starts futzing with the package and it explodes, blasting a hole through their shared wall, Sheldon and David's wall.
Well, but that's his fault for taking someone's mail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was just keeping it. He didn't know that she was in there.
Or that there was a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know it was a bomb.
Got the squitters.
The blast knocks Jennifer to the ground and had
very
to
obsessed about this.
completely obliterate the bird. The bird's
I don't know.
incinerated.
He doesn't have the squitters anymore.
No.
He got the splat.
He doesn't have them.
He's got the
is them.
splatters.
Sheldon and David are both shell-shocked but alive. An ambulance is called. David sees Sheldon.
Again, in this scene, there's 2 more faints.
Yes.
So we're up to 4 faints.
4 faints.
Well, David
4
sees
faints.
Sheldon and Jennifer float due to Justin carrying them while passed out.
So now he believes.
I guess, kind of.
But then he faints again, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sees it, then faints again. I don't think, for me, this whole pilot, he ever quite accepts, even after the whole in the hospital room with the neighbor, I still don't think he ever accepts this ghost theory.
So it'd be Jason.
It'd be me. I am the David of this. I'm the David Porter who invites crazy women into my life instantly.
I mean, it's Jason.
It's pretty on
Did
the
he
nose.
have I think he had a map on his wall, too, in his apartment, didn't he? I think it was of
Hot
Beijing.
salads galore.
Yeah, hot salads.
Boiling hot salad. At the hospital, we get an update on Sheldon and David's condition. David is freaked out about hearing Jennifer talking to no one at his bedside. And then Sheldon is right there in the same room, and he says he believes in ghosts while David does not. And Jennifer goes full truth here with Sheldon's insistence. Justin then decides to prove to them that he's real by opening the hospital. What happens when he does
The
it?
cops come in, right? They were opening it as he
Proves
opened
nothing, right?
Yep.
So the police come in, the same guys from earlier, and they arrest Jennifer for the murder of Justin case. And by all accounts, there would be a commercial here.
Yeah, but guess what they didn't do when they arrested her?
It's Miranda rights.
Exactly.
I'm more of a Carrie instead of a Miranda, though.
Just so you guys know, they don't have to do it right when they arrest you.
How you know that?
They just
At the police station, Jennifer is interrogated.
So after you tell them, "Hey, you didn't read me your rights," oh, good thing you
No,
said that.
you don't-
You have the
no,
rights.
I wonder how that.
I would
ever
suggest
even
not
be-
saying that
How could
either.
that ever even be proved, though?
Huh?
You know, someone can just say, "Oh no, I did it." How could you even prove that it wasn't them?
You can't.
Because you sign a piece of paper that says you received them.
At the police station, Jennifer is interrogated again by the same 2 cops and recounts her experience with calling the agency for a secretary position. And her story kind of keeps changing a little bit based on new information that she's received. But now she demands a lawyer based on Justin's guidance. And then so they get out of the
Is
police
that
station.
the sequel? Justin Guidance.
Justin Case and then Justin Guidance. Yeah. It's a spinoff. Jennifer and Justin get into a cab.
He's a ghost guidance counselor for wayward youth.
The cab driver overhears the one-sided conversation that Jennifer's having in the back seat, and they talk about how the bomb was meant for Jennifer that blew up in Sheldon's apartment, but she's a target because she can identify the woman in black. And they decide to go to get Justin's vehicle's keys for his car at his office, and he needs to call his old secretary. I think her name is Switch.
Yeah, her last name was Switch.
Because he's worried about
Mrs.
her.
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah, that Will Smith movie.
That's Hitch.
Sure.
Kevin James as Switch.
Yeah, that's it.
I never saw that. Hey, at the office, there's a police seal on the door because it's a crime scene, but it's been broken. So Justin goes in first to check it out. And
With only his head.
Hello?
You all right?
Something's going on.
Did you do a cough
It
button
is a
there?
ghost.
It was a ghost.
There's a
It was
ghost in the
ghost
machine.
yeah. Jennifer goes in and surprises him right behind him. Then she goes to grab the keys, and she herself is surprised by someone under the desk.
Yeah, there's this weird creeper just hanging out underneath.
And that's another character actor.
Squatters' rights.
It was really weird because like she like bends over, she sees him, and then he just goes wah wah. I'm like, that's weird.
Well, he only
Hops
sees this
out of
lady.
the room. He
Is
could have
this,
just been like, I was a friend of this man,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to...
Mr.
I'm
Slinker,
just jerking off
right?
under his desk.
Well, what Slinker?
Slinker.
I never wrote his name down, but that sounds right.
Yeah.
She goes full bogey.
What does that mean?
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah. Well, he tries to leave, but Justin closes the door, and then while he has his hands on the door, he lifts him up by his legs, so he looks like he's like Christopher Reeves. You know, it's just like You'll Believe a Man Can Fly. It looks like he's floating there, and then she.
Oh, I thought you meant he fell off a horse.
That's not what I meant. Isn't that funny? How that happened to the Man of Steel? Not funny, haha, but no.
Hey, it's
Anyway, she cuffs him up, and then Justin roughs him up as needed. He kind of beats him up when he tries to escape, and the guy is, of course, he's freaked out. He doesn't know what's happening to him.
so then they leave and they're going to go to Mrs. Switch's house, and this is where he's like, oh crap, I need to start like.
Well, he does give him some information. He says Simon Fresca is the guy who sent him. He's a big important banker.
Love Fresca. It's
And
great. It's always,
Grapefruit soda, man. It's not for everyone.
but it quenches your thirst.
My Uncle Earl loved it.
You know what? Your Uncle Earl is a smart guy.
Yeah.
Simon Fresca hired Justin, or his wife hired Justin to see if he was cheating on her, and he was with a 23-year-old lady.
Nice.
And
High five that.
Did you do the noise, Brianna? There you go.
What do you call?
It's like skipping a stone in some water. Justin had already communicated this to Simon's wife. The current theory is that Simon Fresca hired someone to kill Justin because he uncovered something about him greater than just the cheating scandal that Justin isn't sure what yet. So that guy gave him a lot of information when they cuffed him there, right?
Right, because they needed to pick up the pace on the storyline.
Yeah. And is it time for Cool Keeney yet?
Cool Keeney?
Cool Keeney.
Is it almost? I don't know. Oh, the Hawaiian guy?
Yes.
Close. I do make a note here that the story is getting way too convoluted with talks of like plane tickets.
You're damn right it is.
Houses in Florida.
What kids are going to be interested in this?
And that's a big part of my problem with this. How the greasing up politicians and government officials. A lot of this is interjected in like a 45-second frame.
Yeah.
You're right, to really get the exposition of the story going, and it convolutes.
In 1988, kids were very in tune with the geopolitical surroundings.
It was a different
It was a
time.
different time.
They didn't even have Band-Aids back then.
But you're right. I didn't write this name down, Dustin, but you're right. Back at the hospital, Sheldon and David talk to ghosts. They talk about ghosts, and David says he's still a skeptic, and then Sheldon tries to put himself into like a trance to start speaking Hawaiian.
He
Because
has a
that-
spirit guide.
Spirit
or
guide
something,
who was a Hawaiian.
Who
But
wore
then
a
he connects to
tie-dye
his
shirt.
macaw.
Yeah, he channels Shirley the bird instead and keeps going, pretty boy, pretty boy.
Which would mean that
You know,
Because she still had the squitters.
Yeah.
maybe the Different Strokes cameo was a little bit better after all.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Justin and Jennifer break into his old secretary's house, and the police officers there, and they arrest her. They inform Jennifer that her name is Evelyn Switch, I guess, that her body was found washed up on the beach. This is the last we hear about it. This is someone's life.
Somebody
that-
died in this kid's program.
they had to get rid of her somehow because
Multiple people.
because they
Yeah.
talked about her at the beginning because that's who she had talked to on the phone to even so they had to somehow get rid of her. But I found it very ironic that the cops were there. They handcuff her and arrest her, basically arrest her again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can arrest somebody twice in the same.
Well, if you don't read them their Miranda rights the first time, you got to do it a second time.
Here's my thing: why was Miranda's problem? Why didn't she just? You know what I mean? Just
that it?
well, you're right.
I thought you were going to go a full
Well,
rant about Miranda.
I was gonna go Miranda rant.
Miranda rant.
Miranda rant.
They had some hits in the 80s.
Yeah. Everything seems to be going so fast.
Please tell me now.
Why your Miranda rights were bad?
Brianna was over it at this point.
You did text me, and you said, "Hey,
she said I'm done."
You said there's
and
10
I
minutes
think
left
she
in
meant
this.
about taking notes.
Why did you just gave up on the pilot?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for almost 6 years, and we have not been able to give up on a pilot.
it's been almost 8 years
it
doing
happened
this
so
show.
No, it
easily
hasn't.
for me.
Isn't it been 8 years?
It's like November, December of 15. I feel like how many times have we talked about this? This is really sad. This is why my heart's
It's
sad.
episode
this will be the last
almost
time,
400.
so-
Oh, that would be 8 years. It has been a long
that's
time.
really hard to hear that you say stuff like that, Blake.
You just put it in perspective for the first time. I honestly thought it was like 5 or 6 years.
No.
Wouldn't if you did an episode every it was yeah.
Why don't you take a minute?
Jason is very hurt.
I am really hurt.
Oh, but Jason
This is where he's gonna cry.
no, Jason has for the past I don't know
7.5 years,
8 years. We've just determined
the past 17 episodes has continually gradually gotten more and more upset with me.
Oh,
yeah.
Very passive aggressive, but it's fine.
Yep, I'm angry.
We're gonna hug and it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna buy him a tie-dye shirt.
Tim Stack takes Jennifer out of there, and then the other guy, I don't know if we ever get the other bumbling cop's name, but he gets his arms closed in the window like Ernest. Like an Ernest gag. I mean,
I thought that too.
Justin then steals the keys to the handcuffs, and Jennifer uncuffs Jennifer, and then they grab the other vehicle. That was his vehicle, Justin's vehicle. And she jumps into the car, and they take off, and we see the woman in black looking on from another car.
Yeah, the woman in black shows up like right at the end of everything happening, every part of this show.
I'm starting to get angry in my notes.
Uh-oh. We're back at the hospital. Sheldon
a lot of exclamation points or bold letters.
Sheldon continues to summon his Hawaiian spirit guide. Oh, you know what? Oh, I do have Kokini in my notes. Yeah, it is Kokini. Justin and Jennifer then arrive at the large Fresca estate and are followed by the woman in black, who points a gun at Jennifer right when she's like getting help over a brick wall by Justin. It looks like she's floating over the wall. I think it kind of confuses her, so she doesn't shoot her. And then we go inside the mansion.
Not the shooter.
What happens inside the mansion? Do you have any recollection of this at all, Brianna?
a little bit.
Do you?
Do you want to walk us through what happens in the mansion or not?
No, I do not.
That's fine. Anyone else want to do it? I'm really tired, guys.
Well, I would think you're tired. You're
hurt by Blake.
You've been going like 400 miles an hour shooting through
Yeah, this is where my notes aren't describing the plot and have
Everybody
into...
gets together there. They're in the office at one point, and then Jennifer comes in, and they're all pointing guns at her, and she's like, "Oh, but wait."
Yeah, the lady in black's like, I've already made a deal with this guy for $2 million, but I'm going to screw all of them. And how much you can give me? Guy's like, everything. Everything? Everything. And then it's like $40 million. And so she goes like, okay, well, I'm going to shoot you guys. Justin comes in as invisible, fights everybody off and fights all the guns off, and then the cops show up right in the nick of time. Jennifer's like, hey, these are your guys. The next scene, they're at the police station, and Jennifer's, this is the part where Jennifer is wrapping everything up, and so you don't have any more questions of the whole plot and why.
Until next episode.
Exactly. So it's kind of a recap.
It ain't happening.
And it even show what I don't understand why they did this is she's giving the recap, and it's showing they show like footage of what happened that we didn't see,
like clips of stuff.
It was
and
unnecessary.
Some people we've never even met.
Yeah.
And does the recap involve
Zucchini?
Daniel, whoever his name is, the EMT that housed her, and we thought that was where...
No, but we do see him later on because as Justin and Jennifer are driving away, he's like, well, tell you what, kid, you're going to come live at my house. And I'm like, in a 1 week span, this girl has found 2 places to live. Guys,
how does the paperwork with that, by the way?
Right.
He's dead. She wasn't in his will.
You don't have to have paperwork with ghosts.
Not in 1988. Band-Aids hadn't even been invented
That's
yet.
true.
Right, you think they...
It was on an oil rag.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
She's power of attorney.
The ambulance arrives, the EMT ambulance that David works with. And it seems like him, David, Sheldon, Justin, and Jennifer... They're all going to live together now in Justin's old
No,
house.
I think they're all just bringing her stuff over.
I don't
and
think so.
using
I
the
felt
new
like they were
bird.
living together.
I guess they would have to because
their house.
There's
is
no
gone.
wall.
Oh, yep, that's true.
I think they're all going to live together at this.
And she's like prepping a meal in the kitchen, and she says something, and he says, "Well, I just don't feel anything." And Jennifer does this
I've had
weird
girls say that to
thing
me
where
before.
she puts her hand on his arm, and she's like, "But I feel you."
I can feel you. And then in the next exchange, he says, "Enjoy a mouthful."
Yes.
But what he's saying is, she's like, come out and eat with us, Mr. Ghost Guy, and she's like, no, these are your friends. I'm just gonna go here and just...
Yeah, he's a depressed ghost. But then once he found out he could be touched, he perked up a little.
Right,
bit.
he's like, I got a call to make. I got a oily rag to get a hold of. But yeah, so he's like, oh, go taste food. Go, have fun with your friends. And so she
Yeah,
goes
drink
out there.
yourself in the puddles.
David comes into the kitchen to grab something, and Justin's still in there, and he goes to leave, and somehow this guy that can walk through walls, that can can't drink or smoke a cigarette, can somehow trip a person. So he trips David just jokingly because he says something, and it freeze frame.
It's jealousy.
Yep, Jay Giles freeze frame.
Because she had just touched him.
There's a lot of touching toward the end here.
Loving,
A lot
touching,
of
squeezing.
Please
Another ghost.
The stewardess is here.
She is here.
Bing bong.
I think this is about 70, 75 minutes. It's not, it's not a full movie. It's a short film, whatever you want to call it.
It was much longer than I thought it would be.
I'm sorry for that. It really did fit the needs.
She did ask. She's like, half hour. I'm like, a little longer. How much longer? I'm like, 70 minutes.
I really try not to do that for guests, but since it was a Disney thing and that's kind of your guys' jam, I did.
Oh,
make
so
an
it's my
exception.
fault.
No, it's no one's fault. I did it, but it fit the bill for you guys. But a lot of hostility, not only from Brianna towards me in general, but towards this pilot. Brianna, why didn't this show work?
All of the aforementioned items that I listed as we went through everything. The paramedic was not involved in half of the plot.
He'd just get in the way.
The bird had the squitters.
Yeah.
You wanted to see it come out of the bird.
Yeah, I want to know what a squitter is and why it had multiple.
What would you do to improve it, Dustin?
Rewrite it completely.
Completely.
Yeah, you mentioned the show Ghost, that you don't watch it.
I think it's a British show that was remade here on CBS.
Great show.
And we watch it as a family. Mm-hmm. That show does everything correctly that this show does wrong. Mm-hmm. It while we were watching it, I'm like, why would any kid care about this? They don't care about the detective stuff.
Yeah.
They don't. No,
there aren't any kids in it.
There's no kids. It's just like all they care about is crazy lady talks to invisible ghosts.
Yeah,
that's the only part of this premise that would be attractive to an audience of children. So that's what I'm saying.
But anywhere does it say that this was for kids?
It's a Disney.
I know, but I mean,
project.
It's inferred at the very least this will be like a family film.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but.
So family, not necessarily kid geared specifically.
Yeah. The show Ghosts handles it right. There's one person.
What's that on?
It's on CBS.
You got that? You got a password for that?
Yeah. When Brianna starts sleeping here, you guys can binge it. She falls down a flight of stairs, hits her head, and when she comes to, she can see all the ghosts that live in the house, and she can communicate with them. Her husband cannot see them, but he becomes aware of what's going on.
Maybe he should hit her husband in the head with a shovel.
Maybe. But that show does this premise well.
Still not going to watch it. Blake, here's softball for you. I know you just about coughed yourself to death a moment ago.
I'm sorry.
If this had continued to go on, if it had survived, what would happen next?
Sure. Basically, she's going to open up just in case, open up his business back up, and he, and they're gonna have adventures and try to solve crimes
with the advantage of a ghost being. I mean, I can see that.
That's an advantage. It's an advantage to have a ghost as your partner.
Do you think George Carlin was right for this role? Because I don't.
No, not necessarily.
I think it was a weird casting choice for me.
But I don't think he was as George Carlin as he usually is. And I don't think he was as bad as I was expecting once I saw
the Fox sitcom he did, where he essentially
like
played himself.
Guy,
that worked. They could have had anybody else in this role. I'm a Carlin fan, and I was just like, I don't understand why he is in this role.
I think if this keeps going, they all live together in the house. Sheldon, it was never established what he does. He becomes the secretary for Jennifer.
Sheldon.
Yeah, young Sheldon, thank you. And then David.
No gay Sheldon.
David still lives there.
We don't know for a fact.
Assumed gay Sheldon.
We should never assume.
David continues to live there as well and be an EMT. And they all learn that Justin is a ghost. And Justin, by the loose rules of being a ghost, reveals himself that he is a ghost. And they all believe it. And they all, to some degree, work together and get entangled in these different cases. That's the show, right?
Right.
That's what's going to happen every week.
And tripping.
And of course, Jack.
Every
Jack-
And
episode
fainting.
ends with a trip, freeze frame.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
She still sounds so chipper about this job after all
Right.
these years.
After all 8 of these
She
years.
hasn't lost her luster.
Yeah.
Other people have seen Just in Case. Of course they did. It was a made-for-TV movie made by Disney, showed on a network. Of course a lot of people saw this. IMDb, it's on there. I'll ask this to everyone here. Out of a scale of 1 to 10 decimal points in play, what do you think people from around the world rated Just in Case? We'll start with Brianna.
4.5.
Okay. Dustin
5.6.
and Blake.
I'm going to go like a 5.9 probably.
And Blake cheated. Of course, that's the right answer. Congratulations. 5.9. Critic reviews. Jiminy Just in Case.
Jiminy.
Or Jimmicky Just in
It's
Case.
Chimney.
Is Disney
This is
Sunday-
why
Chim
this is why
Chiroo.
Blake's never been auditioning Disney.
Right. Oh, didn't I do it one time? I don't remember.
That was Ernest. Recorded in the same location,
It's
not
okay,
the same
Blake.
show.
He's
an odd-
scrapped a couple episodes.
an
I
odd-
don't remember.
I had a bad day that day.
I can't
That
find
day?
my keys. Our guest for next week was there that night, if I
It's
remember
probably-
right.
He was the key finder.
This is by Don Shirley, May 14th.
It was like having my
1988.
own personal key fob.
This is strictly formulaic television. The convoluted story hasn't an ounce of suspense. Whimsy, not suspense, is supposed to carry Just in Case, and that title is a good example of the movie's level of humor. Carlin, gray and grim, just isn't very funny when he isn't doing his own material. Hagen has a lot of presence and elicits a few grins, if not many laughs. Timothy Stack is wasted as the straight man in a pair of all too clumsy cops.
He didn't look drunk to me.
He was wasted. Gordon Jump, playing a psychic neighbor, tries too hard. Edwards
Yes.
wrote the mirthless script with his daughter Jennifer Edwards. Although it's appearing on the Disney Sunday movie, it has pilot written all over it. But unlike its subject, it doesn't seem ripe for an afterlife. The thought of watching a whole season of Just in Case is truly dispiriting.
Oh, I get the pun.
Not bad. Not bad.
You get the pun?
I get it.
A couple viewer reviews. 10 out of 10 stars. Very cute. This is from Darwin W323 from July of 2002.
World War III.
Oh, that's right. He's predicting the future.
Wow.
I saw this movie when it first
They
came
didn't
out
have Band-Aids then.
and absolutely fell in love with it. It is
That's
funny,
why the
sweet,
war took so
romantic.
long.
I'm just going to skip these.
No, it's
It's too late.
I'm not.
What I like to say at the end of the
in
podcast.
love with
He
it.
fell in love with it.
Welcome to FCF.
What I like to say when we're wrapping up a podcast is "fuck you."
For your safety and comfort, please
That's typically how I feel as well after hours.
She's left the table and left me to finish the show on my own before.
This is true.
Fair enough. Hey, let's land this thing. Blake, what's our grading scale? I'm just going to give it right over to you.
Sure. Yeah, it's based off of the television show from the 1990s. It's entitled Wings.
Never heard
A
of it.
great show. You should check it out. If anybody wants to borrow my password, I do have that one, and I pay for that one.
Hey.
You have the Wings app?
Well, I know where to watch
All
it.
wings all the time.
All wings.
Wings.
It's part of the Jim Burrows universe that also includes
Buffalo
Frasier and
Wild.
Cheers.
Okay.
It really does.
And I don't watch those two. So it's a 1 through 7, and it's all based off of characters from Wings. 7, that's the worst. That's Roy Biggins.
Seven is the worst.
the best.
This is 398. This is one of the last.
One
Oh,
is
shit.
the worst.
What the
You're right.
fuck is going on?
1 is the worst. That's a Roy Biggins. I did that last week too, or a
Hey,
couple weeks ago.
which
It's not
one's
good.
Faye
It's not
Yetten?
good, man.
Faye Yetten is 5. Everybody knows it.
Maybe
Faye
you
Yetten
should
is-
have a beer.
Faye Yetten is 5.
No, she's not.
Antonio Scarpacci.
Every day ending the show looks like a better and better idea. Every single day.
and number 7, that's a Brian Hackett. Brianna, ladies first. After watching most of this pilot, and you had a walkout at one point, I guess, how would you rate Just in Case?
I thought we just did that.
No, we did
have to
the
do it
summary
on
about
a
an
number.
hour ago.
How would I? 4.
Okay. I'll write you down for a 4. That's right down the middle.
Dustin is our other guest.
Don't write it
One of
down.
our longest.
Don't
running
write it
guests.
down. Once it happens, it happens.
Go ahead, Blake.
I wrote it down.
Okay, go ahead.
I was waiting for Dustin.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want Dustin to give his rating.
That's great. Let's hear it.
I'm one of the longest guests at what?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Fuck me.
I'm going 3. I thought her rating would be lower.
Yeah,
actually.
4's right in the middle.
Yeah.
3, 4 is pretty generous for someone who appears to have so much
I'm
disdain
going
for it.
with which one's 3 again?
3's Antonio Scarpino.
Yeah, Monking it up.
Tony
What's
Shalhoub.
4?
Fayette.
That's Joe Hackett, Tim Daly. TV's Tim Daly.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's great.
He played David Koresh in a movie
Oh,
once.
yeah.
What's 2?
That's Faye Cochran, who he calls Fayette, and previously thought it was a 5 after 8 years of doing the show.
That's what I thought you were
Captain
going.
Philip, rest assured.
No, I'm going to ask you first. How do you rate Justin Case?
I'm going to give it a 3 as well. I think there is something here. It's a fun premise, but it does beg the question: who is this for? I mean, how often are families all getting together to watch a show, and kids aren't going to be into this because there are no children. There's no real child elements other than it's a PG event. You know, there's murder, which is not awesome for kids, and then there's George Carlin. The kids don't care who George Carlin is. I was 7 at the time. I don't care who George Carlin is when I was 7.
He was
years
in my
old.
dad's record collection. That's how I knew who he was.
It doesn't make sense. It needs to be a little harder to be for the adults, or you need to have like kids involved somehow, or some other childlike element to entice children to watch this. And even then, there's not a lot of child shows in prime time. They need to find some sort of happy medium where kids are involved and the crimes aren't murder. You know
so
what I mean?
the answer would be dead children. So that
I want to see a
ghosts
sea of dead children. Yeah,
And they have
Ideally.
a detective agency like the Bloodhound Gang.
I would love that.
I think I have the perfect child actor for 1988.
Let's
They
hear
would
it.
be great on this
Is
show.
it Jonathan
Is
Brandis?
it? Yeah. Who is it?
Mason Reese.
Mason. There you go. As the ghost, he already looks like a fucking
He's
ghost.
eating the ham.
Ham.
Captain Philip, rest assured, we turn towards you. How do you rate Justin? Okay.
I had a good time. I like to see people faint, obviously, because I enjoyed it. There was a hot salad.
Kink.
I thought Jennifer was very adorable in this. I think she was witty and cute, and she was crazy, like most of the ex-girlfriends I've had in my life. I could tolerate George Carlin on this. I usually don't necessarily like him very much, but I enjoyed him on here. I thought he was kind of, he kind of kept it together. I'm going to give it a 5. I enjoyed it.
All right, there you go.
I enjoyed it.
With Dustin, I score of a 3. Brianna's of a 4. And Blake, the high one of the bunch, odd, not usual, to give you the high one of the bunch of a 5. We'll close the book on Justin Case, and we'll never speak of that show again.
Yeah.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Harry BATT in our last regular episode.
Can you spell Harry?
I will not. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Harry BATT is a television pilot starring Geordie Copper, D.I. Harry BATT, following his pursuit of a soft furnishings bouncer gang. That doesn't make sense to you. I
No,
get
it doesn't.
I get it. Yeah, but watch it and it will. You can find the entire episode of Harry BATT by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. And everybody,
You know what to do, too.
Oh, that's nice.
Harry Bat was the B-side to Smelly Cat, by the way.
Smelly
That's what's going through my head. See, they get it.
What are they feeding you?
Hey, we would give out our contact info, but
Why bother?
who cares? This really is, first of all, a time for our guests to do their plugs, which we'll do first. And then we have something for our guests after that.
Oh, geez.
What would you guys like to plug?
Well, we have Dishing Disney. We are
It's under its own feed.
It is.
A lot of your stuff falls under one feed, but that has its own feed,
Yeah,
right?
Dishing Disney is its own entity. Our next episode is going to be the Toy Story one.
Who knows when it will happen?
Don't know. It hasn't been recorded
That's
yet.
kind of the fun thing.
But we have our notes taken, and we're
You never
very
know. It
familiar
keeps
with
you
the source
guessing.
material. So, Toy Story coming soon. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't like to predict the future, but I think you guys got a little podcast bug going tonight and got a little buzz going on.
They're gonna go home?
Gonna go home and
No, I don't see that.
Absolutely.
do a little
not.
do a
I don't
little
see-
Dishing Disney.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. And if you subscribe to the Drunken Lullabies podcast feed 1, you're going to be treated with some new material, perhaps.
A secret special surprise.
Yeah, that has already happened, but we've been working on it behind the scenes. So if you're an old school fan of Drunken Lullabies, stay tuned. But in the meantime, enjoy the current episodes of Radio Rewind.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and your guest, one of your guests next week is going to be on an upcoming episode, I believe.
Well, there you go.
So you can tie that in.
The other thing I have for the guests is I say this is your time to kiss Blake and mine's ass somehow. This is your time to praise us because you're never going to see us again after this.
At least not together in the same place.
So if there's
I'll
something you want
see you. She's not.
if there's something you want to say to us now, please say it because this is it.
Jason, I'm really glad I'm never going to see you again.
I get that more than you think.
You should.
Blake, I love the tie-dye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
There
it.
you go.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, Blake, thanks for introducing me to podcasting.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I introduced him to podcasting.
You've given me something to do with my college education.
You're excellent at it, and I'm glad that I didn't have very much to do with it.
I was a stranger at a bar, and we hit it off, and you're like, hey, you seem like you like to talk. We should have you on a show
It is true.
that me and this other guy do. And
I'm like, you got a lot of knowledge that's useless. Hey, you want to use it?
Yep. And then, Jason and I, we were like two ships passing in the night for decades, and then we've just
Collided.
Yeah, and formed a Voltron, and we've hosted shows together, and enjoy podcasting with you. And hey, I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. What I want to say to these two is thank you so much for being a part of the show for the many years that we've done it. Dustin, almost from the beginning.
Yeah.
Brianna, not since the beginning, but we did trick you eventually coming on fairly regular, about once or twice a year. I hope you had even the most small amount of fun being here.
I did. I had a small amount of fun.
Okay. we do enjoy having you, and it means a lot to me, and I'll speak for Blake and San, that both of you being a part of this. So thank you very much.
Well,
both
thank
of
you
Thank
for
you, guys.
having us.
It's great.
Anything else you want to say, Blake, at the end here?
No.
Good.
What about your affirmations? You're wearing tie-dye. You have to be positive.
I tell you what, I'm going to say that for a long time I thought Bill Walton was a quack, but I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt and I just think he's a fucking genius
You need to
now.
watch that 30 for 30 about him, man. You'll find out.
Was he an asshole? Did he beat women?
Huh?
Did he beat women? Or was he a cool guy?
I just went to Grateful Dead shows.
Oh. Well, I'm just to make sure he didn't beat women.
I don't think so. I don't know.
We usually like
Maybe.
to end the show like that's a good way.
Jason would be fine with it.
No, where you
Jason doesn't beat him. He just thinks that they should know their place.
They're just not bosses.
a lot of misinformation here at the end of the program. Hey, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Hey, talk to you guys next week.
Flippy flop.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.